the NFC East is just an embarrassment. I really was. Once it got to overtime, I was hoping for the tie. I hope like every NFC East game for the rest of the season ends in a tie because that's what they deserve.
Well, Eli Manning in quite possibly his final start. It all depends with the injury situation with Daniel Jones, so it may not be his final start. And Eli has not announced his retirement, but nobody believes he will be back with the Giants. And I don't think he'll be back with any other team, so I would imagine this is the swan song for Eli. And he ended up going 15 of 30 last night, 203 yards, a couple of touchdowns. And as you said, Philadelphia had a rally to win this thing. They win in overtime, 23-17, as you were hoping for a flat-footed tie. But the Eagles, with the win, tie the Cowboys at 6-7 in the NFC East. The Giants lose for, what, the 9th straight time?
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know. I lost count somewhere back in the 5-6 range. I don't. The Giants are just. Whew. And the worst part was, like, I had a chance to win a fantasy playoff game. That didn't go well. So really, it was just a bad night all around. My fantasy playoff game, my one fantasy playoff game, and I know nobody cares, but the team I was playing, his team scored 13 touchdowns against me. 13 touchdowns. Like, everybody he had got 2 touchdowns. Like, last night he had Slayton.
Wow.
I had Sterling Shepard. I needed a Sterling Shepard outscore Slayton by 10 points. That ended real quickly with the first touchdown. Then he just tacks on another touchdown for the hell of it. Like, it's just unbelievable. Like, it's just crazy. I had 13 touchdowns from him in 1 week for his team.
Yeah, but then you move on to your next league.
I do, but then
I like 100 leagues.
But then my tiebreaker nightmare came true, and I got screwed by the tiebreaker in my other league.
How many do you manage?
I'm in 3 real leagues.
Okay.
A 4th league that doesn't matter.
I was going to say, 2 is my limit. Like, that's trying to manage all that.
But the other one,
it's like a favorite team. It's one, baby. You're in one league. You have one favorite team. That's it. That's it.
No,
4 or 5 leagues. And
the other one, I end up tied for first place, but I lose the tiebreaker because it doesn't go to head-to-head. It goes for total points scored for the season, and I lost that by like 30, where I beat the guy during the regular season.
Boo-hoo.
It's a terrible.
Get the rule changed.
I'm trying. I'm like the Houston Rockets. My protest has been denied. I tried to get it. I tried to get it changed, but it's because I didn't even know what the rule was until it applied to me. And then by that time, it's hard to get everybody to change the rule when they know only one person's going to benefit from that change of that rule.
By the way, what did you think of that last night? That they completely denied the Rockets, not even picking up the game in progress.
I get their point, I guess. I mean, yes, you could say that the Rockets, you had 7 minutes plus 2 overtime periods. Like, you could say that, yes, the 2 points cost you the game, but you had plenty of time knowing that you weren't getting those 2 points to still overcome it. And I like the fact that they say that the three refs are going to be, they have been disciplined. They're going to be. They've done something to them, but they don't ever tell you what they've done to them.
Right.
I don't know if they went in there and said, "Hey,
don't
do that again. Next time, if a guy dunks the ball, count it for 2 points." Or like, do they fine them? Like, I wish they would say, like, what exactly do you do to your officials when they completely botch a call?
Yeah, that's a good point. Last night, the Grizzlies winning in San Francisco, knocking off the Warriors 110-102, avenging that earlier season debacle here in Memphis against the Warriors. Warriors are just it's crazy to think about the dynasty that we just saw. We just saw it just recently. And now they are I can't even say a shell of themselves. It's a completely different team. I'm looking at that team on the floor against Memphis when Memphis is making the run and pulling away, and they came back a little bit. I'm thinking, who are the scorers on the floor for Golden State? All they got were like dunks from Willie Cauley-Stein on pick and rolls. It was really bad. But John Morant to be back, I couldn't turn it off. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. First of all, as long as he doesn't miss a ton of games this year, and nothing crazy happens. Again, Zion's not playing until after the first of the year, it looks like, with the news that came down yesterday. John's your rookie of the year. He went for 26 points and 7 assists, 3 of 5 from 3. Some of the moves he made, you just open up your mouth, and it was tough to close it because you were aghast at what's going on with this young man as a rookie in the NBA, making veterans look foolish. I would not dare turn that TV off. As long as he's playing, I'm watching. And as long as he's playing for fans around here, I would think that they would want to go see this Grizzlies team on the floor.
There's no doubt he is the reason really to watch this team. And in a game like that, I mean, it's when you're looking at, I'm not sure there's a ton of people that really want to see Kevon Looney in game.
Oh, he's so bad.
Eric Pascal and Draymond. Well, Draymond is a good NBA player. He is not like
he's not the same with all those great players not around.
Well, and he's not this like entertaining guy to really watch unless you're watching it for see if he maybe flips his lid and like goes berserk on somebody.
True.
I mean, D'Angelo
Russell's okay.
D'Angelo Russell can be entertaining, but it's hard to find a whole lot to watch on that Golden State team. So last night, I mean, it's pretty much Ja Morant. That's your reason for watching, and also the chance that you get to see the Grizzlies get a win because they're playing a terrible team. Although a terrible team that came in here and beat them, but yeah, so they get the win. Ja has a good game. That's good for Grizzlies fans.
Another guy I like to watch, I don't know if he's must-watch television, is Brandon Clark, and he was not in the lineup once again, although he's getting a lot better. Same deal with Kyle Anderson, and those two could be playing on Wednesday when the Grizzlies play at Phoenix to wrap up their road trip. Then Friday they're back home to start a homestand, which includes the Bucks on Friday, Washington on Saturday. Forget who they play on Monday, but the Greek Freak coming in on Friday. I'm sure they'll have a nice crowd Friday night to watch them. But to see the Grizzlies with Ja Morant and soon to have Brandon Clark back, these rookies have made a difference in if this team is a competitive team or not. They're not going to be a viable team. They're not going to be a playoff team, but are they going to be a competitive team? And we have seen already in their short NBA tenure that Ja Morant especially, but also Brandon Clark, make this team competitive. And then there was Grayson Allen, who had the left ankle injury and missed a bunch of games, and he has come back recently and has actually played very well. And last night, he had a season-best 15 points, looked really good, and then he hurt his right ankle. But they say it's just a sore ankle, so hopefully it's something that won't keep him out for a while. But with the NBA, sore ankle, you miss 3 weeks. It's like almost automatic.
Problem with him, I believe that's his tripping ankle.
That's his tripping ankle. But anyway, Grizzlies with a win last night. Back in action tomorrow at Phoenix. Yesterday, we had the news that broke on our show about the Josh Jackson situation with the Hustle. The Hustle finished up their road trip, won last night, but Josh Jackson was held out for violation of team rules, and it was reported that he had missed a team meeting, which is what we were hoping, right, guys, that he was either late or missed a team meeting, that it wasn't something really, really serious. But this is serious enough to have him sit out. You can't be missing team meetings. We don't know why he missed the team meeting. So it could be more serious than what it seems to be, because this wasn't some other incident.
Yeah, the question is why did he miss it? Like where was he that he wasn't at this team
right.
meeting?
Did he oversleep? Was it an early meeting and he just slept through it? Hopefully they can get that figured out, because people are starting to get impatient because they want to see Josh Jackson with the Grizzlies to see what he can do. But I give a lot of credit to Zach Kleiman and company for their due diligence and their patience and not rushing anything. I really think they have handled it correctly, but we're just about, I know they got the showcase coming up here soon, and maybe that's what they're waiting for, like you had suggested, but we'll see. I want to see him at least get an opportunity, but you worry about things like this.
But they did get the win yesterday without Josh Jackson, without Dusty Hannas, and Utah's still not with them, and they still won another game by double digits. They have secured the top seed for the showcase, which is coming up in a little over a week, about 10 days. So they are the number one seed for the showcase, as they'll be playing for $100,000 for the players in that. But
not too shabby.
The whole thing, to me at this point, becomes Do you really think there's any chance Josh Jackson is a part of your future?
We don't know yet.
Well, do you think there's any chance you're going to be able to re-sign him at the end of the year? Like, I wonder what his thought is with them doing this to, like, having him in the G League, all this stuff. Is he going to be like, I like this? Once he becomes a free agent at the end of the year, like, I'm gone. I ain't dealing with this stuff.
Well, how many teams do you think will be willing to give him a big contract knowing that he's had these issues? You know, the Knicks will. The Knicks will be first in line, but maybe there won't be a lot of suitors. I don't know if this situation that he's in is going to sour the possibility of him signing after the season with the Grizzlies if the Grizzlies want him. I don't know. I don't know what's going through his mind. It seems like he's handled it pretty well, but I would bet anybody in that situation, especially with the skills of Josh Jackson, is getting to a point now, all right, this has been long enough. Come on. What else do you want me to do? But I'm so concerned about what led to missing the meeting.
See,
this is what you wanted to avoid. Anything like this as far as an off-the-court issue. Again, it could have been a lot worse. It wasn't a run-in with the law or anything like that, but you wonder what led to it. Again, if it was a simple, the alarm clock didn't go off, it was an early morning meeting, he regrets that, everything should be fine, okay? But if it's something more serious, then there could be a bigger problem.
My thing is that I still will say that probably the best thing for everybody is that he balls out at the G League showcase, and then you trade him.
Yeah,
some team says, you know what? He is we want to take a look at him on our NBA team for the rest of the year.
Why is that the best case? Because how about if he turns out to be a star in the NBA and you have him?
I just don't think the Grizzlies are going to re-sign him at the end of the year. And even if you trade him, you still have a chance to re-sign him. Like nothing changes in that.
I don't know. I just hope they give him this opportunity. All right, couple of things before we take the break. Chris Vanini will join us on the other side. There was some more college football coaching news yesterday. Jeff Scott, as we talked about yesterday on the show, the Clemson co-offensive coordinator, according to reports, he's got a 5-year deal with USF. So another offensive-minded guy will take over the Bulls program. UTSA, they have named former Arkansas running back Jeff Traylor as their head coach. So again, an offensive-minded guy. Lane Kiffin met the media yesterday after we wrapped up our show at 1 o'clock, and it was tremendous. They estimated over 4,000 people were at the pavilion for his introductory press conference. We know, obviously, Sam Pittman at Arkansas, Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri. Also, Penn State is losing their offensive coordinator as Ricky Rain is taking over at Old Dominion. So Memphis has the coaching change, and we'll have an interim coach for the Cotton Bowl. Penn State loses their offensive coordinator in Ricky Rain. The Heisman finalists were announced yesterday after voting: Joe Burrow, Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts, and Chase Young. It's interesting because going into the season, I would have thought Tua Tagovailoa, absolutely, right? Trevor Lawrence, absolutely, and a good chance Jonathan Taylor would go. And none of those guys will be in New York. I think Taylor deserves to be there. Tua got hurt, obviously.
Tua
Trevor had the
certainly
bad start
without the injury.
But Taylor's numbers, even against really good teams, are mind-boggling, and he is not there. The Harder Way, the new series on Penny Hardaway and the Tigers, begins today with the first 2 episodes. It will be live streaming, or it'll be streaming rather, not live streaming, streaming on ESPN+. So everybody's been waiting to see the series. If you've been around the Tigers, either over at the Lori Walton facilities or at FedEx Forum, you've probably seen a number of cameras. I'm not talking about the cameras just to shoot the game, but a number of cameras just following the team and following Penny and doing a lot of stuff in the pregame. They have been here from the summer on, and they will continue to be here filming this project. And finally, people have been waiting to see when this first part of the series would be dropped, and it's going to be dropped today. Again, the first 2 episodes of this series on ESPN+. And then one other college football note, or 2 notes. Jake Bentley is transferring to Utah. We knew he was going into the transfer portal. He's going to Utah. Not exactly an aerial show by Kyle Whittingham, but they need it. I think it helps Utah getting, a very capable quarterback in Bentley. I thought Bentley, here's a guy who'll end up with Lincoln Riley. How about this one, Eli? Lynn Bowden turning pro. He's the guy who was the receiver. Then he ended up being the quarterback for Kentucky, did a great job. Is this going to be one of those? Is he the next Lamar Jackson? They're going to be like, you can't play quarterback in the NFL. And he's going to start out as a receiver, and then he's going to end up playing quarterback and being a stud. Gabe shaking his head, no way.
He is in no way a quarterback.
I was going to say, he's going straight to receiver because he never even claimed to be a quarterback.
That's probably why he's getting out of college. He's like, I'm scared they're going to stick me at quarterback again next year.
No, I got tongue firmly in cheek here when I say that. But I think I don't even remember how good he was as a receiver.
He was good. He was their leading receiver.
But it's Kentucky. What is that saying? I mean, is he an NFL receiver?
I don't know if he's an NFL guy, but he's a good receiver.
I mean, the guy's leaving early and has been a quarterback this year.
You can see what he could do with that ball in his hands. Like, when everybody knew he couldn't throw it, he still ran for 200 yards per game.
I know. They thought Lamar couldn't throw it either. I know there's a big difference. Lamar
Jackson was a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback.
I understand.
A lot.
Yeah. One was a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, and one threw it one time a game.
Yeah, and you know what? One was a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback who nobody in the NFL thought was a quarterback. And then reluctantly got picked as the fifth quarterback, reluctantly got thrown in as a...
He was drafted in the first round. Let's not say nobody thought he was a quarterback. He was a first-round draft pick.
No. Because he was a hell of an athlete who can run. Nobody thought he had the ability to throw the ball like he's doing.
In the first round.
Eli, not because of his arm, man.
They drafted him to be a quarterback in the first round.
They drafted
him
because of his athleticism to run with the football. Don't all of a sudden forget about how reluctant they were to put Lamar Jackson in there because they thought he couldn't throw the ball. Anyway, good luck to Lynn Bowden.
They drafted him in the first round and put him in midway through his rookie season in front of a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Am I dreaming this? Am I dreaming?
Yes.
Up until 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, they said the guy couldn't throw the football.
Who? Who are you listening?
All NFL personnel.
Dreaming this.
I am not dreaming this.
I think it was more of he couldn't throw the ball in comparison to some of the other throwing quarterbacks of the NFL. But
dude, they questioned his arm. They all questioned his arm, NFL personnel people. They questioned his arm.
They questioned it, but, I mean, we're talking about Lynn. We got to this conversation from Lynn Bowden.
I'm joking about that. I'm just saying here's a guy who ended up having to be an emergency quarterback. I don't remember how good he was overall. Not on the Kentucky roster, comparable to other receivers around the country to make it in the NFL and warrant him leaving early. That's what I'm saying. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, he is Chris Vanini from the Athletic. We'll talk some college football with him. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services, wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We know at Conway Services the timing's not always right for you to have heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric problems. So during the holiday season, if you should find yourself in need of these services, just know that Conway Services is always ready to serve, and we also got financing options available. So during the month of December, Conway Services is offering our year-end heating system closeout special for as low as $79 per month. That's right, replace your heating system with Conway Services by year-end for as low as $79 per month. And if that's not enough, we'll include an April air cleaner, a free Nest thermostat, and a 10-year parts warranty. And you know with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old heating system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
And this corner is Bob, the Beast of Bargraphs, using Dayquil Severe to face off against his cold. Bob's cold was coming at him from all sides. Head, chest, right nostril, left nostril. Oh, Dayquil Severe! What a game changer! He's out of his bed sheets, wrecking his spreadsheets, bodies slamming his sales reports. With Dayquil Severe, Bob's cold is out cold.
Dayquil Severe, the daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, sore throat, power through your day. Medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Farmers Insurance knows that there's a not-so-subtle difference between the sound of a car hitting your rear bumper and the sound of a clown car hitting your rear bumper.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Sorry about that.
We call that a 3-ring fender bender, and we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent.
They know a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
When you're diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer,
a lot of questions run through your mind.
What am I going to do?
What are my options?
What did I do wrong?
We've had those thoughts too.
But some questions can help you move forward.
Visit findyourmbcvoice.com for an interactive guide to help you learn the next steps to take after an MBC diagnosis.
And how to ask the questions that lead to an open and informed conversation with your doctor.
Start finding your voice today
at findyourmbcvoice.com.
It's game on at the new Moneyline Book Bar and Grill inside the Gold Strike Casino Resort. Now you can bet on all of your favorite sports and watch the games on 60 HD TVs while you lounge in plush seating and enjoy craft beers, signature cocktails, and great food. Plus, don't miss the Topgolf Swing Suite, a virtual reality experience with a variety of fun interactive games every sports fan will love. Visit the Moneyline Bar, Book, and Grill at Gold Strike Casino Resort for Monday Night Football happy hour specials. Or anytime you want a piece of the best sports action in Mississippi.
Summers span decades. Winters can last a lifetime. And the struggle for the Iron Throne continues in Game of Thrones: The Final Season. Get it now on 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and DVD. The complete series also available on Blu-ray and DVD now for purchase. But you could win it right here on Sports 56 with help from your friend Johnny Radio. Johnny's giving away 4 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and 4 digital copies. Who loves you this holiday season like Johnny? Nobody.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
So I was looking at Jonathan Taylor's stats. In 3 years, 6,080 yards, 50 touchdowns, and not one invite to New York. That's pretty.
That was my point.
That's hard to do. Like, I mean, you just, at some point, people have to vote for you if you're averaging 2,000 yards a season over 3 years as a running back.
Well, they have had a number of great running backs. Some have done really well in the NFL, some not so much. Ron Dane was a Heisman winner. Jonathan Taylor, I think, could be the best of the bunch. He has proven it against good teams, special teams, and obviously mediocre teams. So he does it. It's not just because the caliber competition is down and he runs for 200. He does it against everybody. So I thought that was very disappointing. I knew Chase Young was going to get in there. I just knew this year that he was going to make it. But Jonathan Taylor not being a part of it, it's a shame. I mean, he really deserves it.
Total scrimmage yards, 6,444, 55 touchdowns in 3 years. Never once a Heisman finalist.
No.
That's rough.
By the way, Florida State coach Mike Norvell. Remember him, guys? You remember Mike Norvell? He makes it official. He will not be able to coach in the Cotton Bowl. And like I said yesterday, if he was coming to the Cotton Bowl to support Memphis, that's all it was going to be. He wasn't going to be coaching the team. Ryan Silverfield is coaching the team. Mike Norvell wasn't going to swoop in and start calling the plays at the Cotton Bowl. But Laird Veach made it pretty apparent that he's welcome to be a part of the Tigers team in the Cotton Bowl. That's at least the feeling I got when he met with the media on Sunday. Also there, a part of the media, was Chris Vanini, who joins us now, national college football reporter for The Athletic. You can follow him on Twitter at Chris Vanini, and he joins us now on Middays. It was a pleasure meeting you, Chris, in person, but I think you probably got that feeling as well. It seemed like Laird was making the point that, yeah, we'd love to have him, but Ryan Silverfield's coaching this team.
Yeah, I mean, the sense I got from him the other day was that was the case. It was a little bit different from Scott Frost's 2 years ago at UCF who did come back. Frost took literally everybody from his staff to Nebraska and then came back. So I don't know if that made it any different in that there was nobody left over to coach the team. Yeah, I wasn't surprised. I do think it was possible. I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. Like I said, Scott Frost just did it. We've seen coordinators do it like Tom Herman and Kirby Smart, and Jeff Scott is going to do the same thing with Clemson this year. Spend a week at USF, come back, prepare for the playoff with Clemson. I know that's competing for a national championship, but for Memphis, this is obviously a very big game, and he must just feel that there's too much to do at Florida State outside of recruiting, because this is during a dead period, but he must feel that there's just too much to do at Florida State that he can't do it, and also he, I'm sure, feels very confident in Ryan Silverfield's ability to lead them.
Mm-hmm. Chris, I know that they, in all likelihood, nothing will ever do, they will never do anything to change it. Actually, they've gone the other way by putting the early signing period in there. But is there anything that college football could do so that we don't end up with these situations, especially like we had Saturday, where both Lane Kiffin and Mike Norvell are coaching conference championship games where everybody knows that they're leaving immediately after that game?
I don't think so. And like you said, it's actually gone the other way. It's getting even harder. You honestly can't blame some of these coaches for, or at least their agents for, setting everything up during the week of the championship games, because signing day is literally a week away. When Texas hired Charlie Strong, that came in January. When Rich Rodriguez was fired at Michigan, that was after their January 1st bowl game. That stuff just is not going to happen anymore because you can't afford to. You're already putting yourself in a difficult spot with the recruiting class by making a change. But to make a change after, you're essentially punting on a class afterwards. So you got to move quickly, and it's the job of these coaches and agents to do it. And it's not great for the kids, but it's kind of the way things have to be.
As you know, Memphis finished 17th in the college football rankings. This is a hypothetical, but if they had won that game against Temple, and we know it was a controversial finish, if Memphis was 13-0, where would they finish in the college football rankings?
Good question. I would say around, I don't know. I mean, I think they'd be top 10. Having the win against Ole Miss helped, but it was a 4-8 Ole Miss team, and it was at home. You do have two wins against top 25 Cincinnati, top 25 Navy, top 25-ish SMU. I think there's an argument to be made that they would have had a better case than UCF the last couple of years. But with 3 undefeated teams already in the Power 5, that would have obviously been the 3 spots there. And then with the way things played out with Baylor, Oklahoma, Utah, maybe there would have been a case. I mean, we would have kind of had to see how everything else shook out. But certainly top 10, and there'd certainly be Mike Oresco out there making the case. And who knows? Maybe UCF being left out the last 2 years would have helped Memphis's case, and people would have sided with them more. Hard to say. But,
interesting just to think about it, though.
There would have been a discussion for sure.
Part of, to me, too, part of what would have hurt them is that you had 2 teams, 2 of the better teams from their conference, play teams that were up there. Cincinnati wasn't even competitive with Ohio State, and Navy wasn't competitive with Notre Dame.
Yes, that's a very good point there as well. And also, I mean, a lot of these big wins came at the end of the season, so they had a lot of ground to make up. Last year, UCF started higher and was able to inch its way up. Memphis would have had more ground to overcome. But you're right, that Cincinnati loss, you compare it to what Ohio State did to them, and I guarantee that's what a lot of people would have pointed out.
Chris Vanini joining us, national college football reporter for The Athletic. You can follow him on Twitter at Chris Vanini. All right, so Memphis has been on a roll. They have had 2 terrific coaches that have moved on, in Justin Fuente and Mike Norvell. In your opinion, what direction should they go to replace Mike Norvell?
Well, even since Sunday, I think Ryan Silverfield's case to be promoted to the job full-time continues to get stronger. A lot of players have come out and called for him, which isn't surprising, but it's notable. There haven't been anybody announcing transfers. Former players have come out and called for it, and it's known that obviously he's turned down bigger jobs to stay at Memphis, to stay with Mike Norvell for the opportunity of either taking this job or following Mike whenever he moved on. That was kind of always the plan. So he's been ready for this. I think he handled himself very well in that press conference. You could kind of tell he had prepared for that moment for a while. So his internal candidacy is picking up steam, but there will be a lot of interest in this job because of what it's done the last few years. I think names to watch will be Chip Long, the former offensive coordinator, Dan Lanning, the former linebackers coach, who's now the defense coordinator at Georgia. Barry Odom, I'm sure will be interested, the former Missouri head coach, former Memphis defense coordinator. There's a lot of guys who have ties to this job who have moved on to better jobs. I wonder about someone like Tony Elliott, the Clemson offense coordinator, who has kind of been waiting for a big job. He's probably waiting for a Power 5 job, a pretty good Power 5 job, and he can afford to wait. But if he thinks this is a step to get there, because this is clearly now a job that coaches can use to step to a bigger job, to Florida State and to Virginia Tech. Those are two major programs. So I'm curious about other head coaches who could be interested in this job. Bill Clark at UAB sounds like he's not gotten a lot of interest this cycle, which is kind of surprising.
No, you're right.
Considering all the success he's had down there. 4 seasons, 4 bowl-eligible seasons, a Conference USA title, a Conference USA runner-up this year. Billy Napier at Louisiana Lafayette won 10 games this year, former Alabama and Clemson assistant. He was also waiting until after Conference Championship games to start looking at stuff. So this is a job now, we saw it last year. Rod Carey goes from Northern Illinois to Temple. The American is a bit of a step above the rest of the group of 5, especially when it comes to the perception of the coaching job. The American is very much a job where you can, a spot where you can take a job and move from there to a pretty high-profile job from the American. It's hard to do in the Sun Belt at Conference USA. Now, Lane Kiffin and Eli Drinkwitz did that, but those are certainly more exceptions than has typically been the norm. So it's a job that will get a lot of attention. You got the indoor practice facility coming. You got a lot of great skill players there. A lot to like.
But you mentioned Drinkwitz. Were you surprised at all to see him after 1 year there be able to get up into a Power 5 job like Mizzou?
I'm surprised just based on kind of what had happened prior with some of the names that had been reportedly brought to the Missouri board, and they didn't feel that they were flashy enough names, guys like Blake Anderson or Skip Holtz or Jeff Monken, guys who have won 10 games, won conference championship games. But Eli did a very, very good job in his first year at Appalachian State. He took over a program that had a lot in place, but he took them to an even higher level, did a very good job there. Am I surprised he's getting a more than 400% raise from what he did at Appalachian State, making about $750,000 to now making $4 million? Yeah, but credit to him and his agent for making all of that happen. He's a guy who he worked under Gus Malzahn for a bit. He's very organized and sharp, bright guy. Not surprised he left for such a raise, SEC job. It's hard to pass that up. Make $4 million, can't blame him. But a little surprised.
I thought, as you and I listened to Ryan Silverfield, he did a terrific job. But the one thing that I thought was a little bit awkward, and we had a lot of people yesterday calling or texting the show about the comment, was basically Ryan saying he'd stay here forever, like he would never leave. And that is just ludicrous because you never know the situation that could come up, whether it be a job offer, whether it be a new administration in the current job, and all of a sudden their focus changes away from athletics and you don't get the support. I don't know when I hear something like that, because I would think, and especially Memphis in the situation they are, and Memphis fans hate to hear it, but it's still a stepping stone job to some regard. What was your thoughts when you heard Ryan say that?
Well, when I visited during fall camp, I did talk to him about this a little bit. In him being, I think might have been the only guy or one of the few only guys who was still left from Mike's first staff.
Right.
And he had bounced around quite a lot. He mentioned in that press conference he's been coaching since he was almost a teenager. He bounced around a lot for a while, and he's kind of tired of doing that. He's turned down bigger jobs, Power 5 jobs, chances to go back to the NFL. Just because he really liked where he was at and he liked working with Mike. That's notable. Now, the idea that if he gets this head coaching job, he'll never leave, sure, that's probably a bit unfair for him to put on himself. But, his wife is going through medical school and I think is in Oklahoma now. She was in Chicago. They don't have kids, but he hasn't been a guy who's looking to bounce around and move to a bunch of different jobs. I don't think it's a situation where he gets this job and say he has 2-3 years of success and he's looking to get out. I think there's something to that, and it's kind of something that Memphis has to think about, and as well as Appalachian State now that it's open. Since they lost a coach after a year, are you okay with being a stepping stone job if it means you continue to win and continue to hire the right guys? Mm-hmm. Houston did not want to be a stepping stone job, so it hired Major Applewhite, ended up firing him after 2 years. Appalachian State, there's a push, some people there to want to make it someone who previously coached at the school, someone who's going to stick around. So that's kind of what Laird Veach has to think about, and what's the most important thing? Is it just simply finding the next guy who's going to win you the most games and cross that next bridge when you come to it, or is it a long-term guy?
Boy, you'd love to have sustainability, because I don't know how many times you can go back to the well and hit a home run, but they're going to try to do it for a third straight time. He is Chris Vannini, national college football reporter for The Athletic. You can follow him on Twitter at Chris Vannini. Chris, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Take care. First hour sponsor of the program is James Gaddis Jewelers, and right now, through December 14th, 20% off all Seiko and Bulova watches, designer jewelry by Doves, 20% off the blue topaz jewelry. It's the December birthstone, and all aquamarine jewelry. And ask about their free Ronaldo bracelet if you spend $150 or more on a regular price of Ronaldo jewelry. It's James Gaddis Jewelers, famous for their diamonds, one of the best selections of fine quality diamonds and bridal rings in the Mid-South, but also your holiday headquarters. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar, between Mendenhall and St. Elmo, in the heart of East Memphis. Call them at 901-767-9648 or on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab a seat for Happy Hour. Johnny Radio's Happy Hour from 1 to 3 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
It's a winter wonderland at Envy Nail Bar, and if you're looking to host a party during the holidays, I know just the perfect spot for you. Envy Nail Bar has the most beautiful private room that awaits you. Feel pampered and spoiled with their complimentary full premium adult beverage bar. Sit back and get a full body massage with your Petty Mani. I'm loving it. And don't forget your holiday gift cards. Everyone would love their Petty Mani. When you buy a gift card, you get a bonus gift card. Call Salon for details. Envy Nail Bar, corner of Poplar and Perkins.
Memphis, it's official. Crab King Seafood is where it's at. For the most flavored seafood and biggest plates, run to a Crab King's near you. Visit our Bartlett Cordova location at 7140 Stage Road or our East Memphis location at 5992 Knight Arnold Road. Starting this week, get 3 juicy snow crabs, 17 shrimps, 2 whole sausages, 2 corn, 2 eggs, and a large side of potatoes for only $43.99. That's right, $43.99. The price, the portions, the service is why Crab Kings is #1. Make the right choice the first time. Make it Crab Kings. Come and devour our tasty snow crabs, king crabs, shrimp, salmon, and catfish. Enjoy Memphis' best tasting pastas with your choice of toppings. Visit our Bartlett Cordova locations at 7140 Stage Road or our East Memphis location at 5992 Knight Arnold Road. Crab Kings is open Tuesday through Sunday. For more information, Google Crab Kings Memphis or download the app Crab Kings, a Memphis original.
I love fall. The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. Gourmet Chef Drew invites you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, theme dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park. Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
Do you suffer from pain, stress, anxiety, depression, PTSD, arthritis, and multiple sclerosis? You want an all-natural way to manage these conditions. Hempville is unlike any CBD store you've ever seen. It's not a one-size-or-brand-fits-all. Hempville has a variety of CBD applications and brand names. They have a well-trained professional staff to help educate you on CBD and what application is best for your individual needs. Hempville has 2 locations to serve you. South Haven at 562 Goodman Road East and Oxford at 1801 Jackson Avenue West. Hempville, where your relief is their mission. Heater trouble? Make your first call your last call. Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning and heating specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their special winter price for a heater tune-up is just $59, and 24-hour service is billed at normal rates. Your comfort is their highest priority. Contact airdoctorsofmemphis.com or call 901-598-HVAC.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Congratulations to Patrick Taylor. He joins Bryce Huff in the East-West Shrine game. They are both going to participate in that all-star game, so good for Big Pat Taylor. ESPN has dropped its list of top 150, not top, but 150 greatest college football coaches of all time. So the 150 greatest college football coaches of all time. There are 9 active coaches. I'm going to test Eli's knowledge here in just a second. But Gabe, what's the top 10 all time?
We have number 1, Bear Bryant.
Don't say 2, but it's a pretty obvious one.
2, Nick Saban, so 2 Bama coaches at the very top. 3, Newt Rockne. 4, Tom Osborne. 5, Eddie Robinson. 6, Charles Wilkinson. 7, Joe Paterno. 8, Bobby Bowden. 9, Woody Hayes. And 10, Frank Leahy.
Frank Leahy.
Leahy.
All right, so there's your top 10. He already told you about Nick Saban, so we'll eliminate him. There are 8 other active coaches on this list of top 150. Eli, who are they?
Is Dabo on there?
Number 31. And he, by the way, is the highest after Saban as far as the active coaches.
Jimbo
is 110.
Les Miles?
140.
Is that all the active ones that have championships? I'm trying to think who else.
One has a title. Let's see, one of what you haven't gotten to.
The other active coaches with championships.
I think he has a title. I think they won. They may have lost. No, they lost in the championship game. I'm trying to remember. My memory's shot. You have 1, 2.
They don't have Lincoln Riley on there yet, do
No,
they?
no, they don't. You have 4 more to go. And we talked during the break about this guy, and so you already know this one, but number 78 on the list of all-time greatest coaches is Lance Leopold. And I know people are going, who? Lance Leopold? He's the coach at Buffalo. But that's not the reason why he's on this list. He was the coach at Wisconsin Whitewater, the NCAA Division III champions 6 times under his leadership, and a runner-up another year. So they gave him all that credit for being crazy good, he tried to say, Division III head coach. But he's on that list of active coaches on the top 150 list at number 78. So you got 1, 2.
Leaping Lance Leopold.
Leaping Lance. Leaping Lenny Poffo. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 to go. One was in the news recently. Recently in the news for stepping away.
Oh, Chris Peterson.
Chris Peterson.
He's not active. You said they were active. He's not active.
Well, he's coaching them in the bowl game, so he's still active. 58. He's number 58. There's one spot behind him. He came out of retirement to coach this year. I don't know if it was retirement. It was at least he was out of a job, let's just say. He was in broadcasting and then came back. He may have been retired at that point. People always break that pledge. ACC.
He does have a national championship, this guy that he's
okay, that's what I thought. I couldn't remember if they had won that or lost it, but I think they had won it, right?
It was honestly one of the classic games.
Yeah, Mac Brown.
Mac Brown, right. It was Texas USC.
Yeah.
I was trying to, did they win that game or lose that game? All right. 2 more. 2 more. Let's see. One is in the Big 12. The other, I'll give it away if I say where they're at. You'll know this.
In the Big 12?
One's in the Big 12. You already nailed Les Miles. This is an additional guy in the Big 12. He comes in at number 74, this guy. This is ESPN's 150 greatest college coaches of all time. Number 74. You like him. I'm pretty sure you like him as a head coach. You've talked about him before. I could be wrong. Big 12.
I don't know.
This doesn't narrow it down that much, but it's in the state of Texas. There's 5 or 6 of them in Texas, aren't there? You know it. Come on.
He's been with them through the whole thing since they got into a power conference.
Yeah.
Because of his success.
They used to be in the same conference as Memphis.
Oh, Gary Patterson?
Gary Patterson, number 74. And then number 89.
I think hints on that one might be.
Yeah,
that would give it away pretty immediately.
I would give it away. I'm trying to think if you have a buddy that covers him in an indirect way. I don't think he does the football broadcast, but he's part of the university. He does a lot of stuff for the university. He's a radio guy who comes on our show.
Brian Kelly?
Brian Kelly. There he is at number 89.
Brian Kelly made number 89?
Number 89. You know who's not on here? Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly not do enough? To be in the top 150 of all time?
No. I don't think I'm surprised Brian Kelly has.
Yeah, number 89. How about that? So there you go. That's ESPN's list, top 150 greatest coaches of all time.
There is reports out there now that former Ole Miss head coach Matt Luke will join the Georgia staff as offensive line coach for Kirby Smart.
Replaces Sam Pittman, who goes to Arkansas. We will take a break. When we come back, we got Humdinger's Trivia, and then John Daly expected to join us. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
If you find yourself plumb tuckered out by all the holiday shopping and whatnot this holiday season, call yourself a timeout and go get some delicious breakfast or lunch at Sunrise on Jefferson. Get away from all the hustle and bustle and settle into a perfect breakfast bowl for breakfast or an unbeatable burger for lunch. The menu at Sunrise is full of surprises, so you'll never get tired of stopping in. You'll always find something you haven't tried at Sunrise, and we guarantee it'll be just as great as everything else you've had. The holidays can be pretty exhausting, so give yourself a break by giving yourself some Sunrise.
And this corner is Bob the Beast of Bar Graphs, using Dayquil Severe to face off against his cold. Bob's cold was coming at him from all sides. Head, chest, right nostril, left nostril. Oh, Dayquil Severe! What a game changer! He's out of his bed sheets, wrecking his spreadsheets, bodies slamming his sales reports. With Dayquil Severe, Bob's cold is out cold.
Dayquil Severe, the daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, sore throat, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
In today's evolving workplace, XMC understands the process of getting office work done has moved from the desktop to your pocket. The new Xerox multifunctional printers and Connect Key app technology are game changers. Are you working with confidential information? Does it need to be secure from unwanted threats? Do you need to translate documents to another language? Xerox's App Gallery provides solutions like secure printing and easy translator technology. XMC is the second largest exclusive Xerox agent in the U.S. with 9 locations to serve you. We've been in business for over 25 years and have received top awards from Xerox. In changing our world one experience at a time, our team's committed to doing what's right for your business. XMC is proud to be your leader in document and print management, and it'd be our pleasure to serve you. Contact XMC today at 888-814-3114 or visit our website at xmcinc.com. XMC, Excellence in Office Solutions.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales. Need physical therapy but don't know where to go? Tried physical therapy but had a bad experience? Grab your physician's referral and head to Revolution Physical Therapy at the corner of Goodman and Getwell. At Revolution PT, you'll get one-on-one, hands-on therapy. Better and more thorough than just going to the gym. Revolution is locally owned and staffed by neighbors who care about your maximum recovery. And they accept all major insurances. Certified in dry needling, expert in myofascial release. Always relaxed and friendly. Revolution Physical Therapy is just what you need.
It's that time of year. Come join us at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, Thursday, December 12th, all day, 7 to 6. We're raising money and most importantly, bringing toys for Mid-South Toys for Tots. Help the boys and girls of the Mid-South have a happy holiday. You can do it. Bring those new unwrapped toys, checks, cash. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, Thursday, December 12th, 7 to 6. Sponsored by Envy Nail Bar, Gateway Tire, David C. Nanny CPA, in Hempville, South Haven, and Oxford.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by Gold Strike Casino and Resort in Tunica. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Welcome back, everybody. 11 o'clock is the time. Hour 2, Sports 56 Middays. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoie, Gabe Kuhn with you on this Tuesday, December 10th, 2019. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Sports 56 Middays delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how FedEx can help you start, grow, and efficiently manage your business. Also, hour 2 of the program brought to you by the Gold Strike Casino Resort and the new Moneyline Book Bar and Grill. John Daly will join us in just a few moments. But first, some little Humdingers trivia.
That's right. It is your opportunity to win a $25 gift card to Humdingers. Head on over to Humdingers at Poplar and Massey. Enjoy some of their great food. Today, being Tuesday, means it's Taco Tuesday. $2 fish and chicken tacos. That's just one of the great, couple of the great things they have on their menu over there. All the different grilled fish options that they've got with some different toppings and different sides. Very healthy stuff, very inexpensive stuff that you could choose from. Along with the grilled fish, you get the crispy fish and chips. For the chicken, they've got the chicken tenders. They've got the piri-piri boneless breast. You can get the piri-piri half chicken, salads, sandwiches, the tacos, which I mentioned. All kinds of different options for you on the menu at Humdingers. You can always go to humdingersrestaurant.com to check out the menu. Again, they're at Poplar and Massey. And any catering you may need for holiday parties, Humdingers can certainly take care of that. They are Humdingers, again, Poplar and Massey. Here is today's question. You can answer via text at 67129. That's 67129. Text in the answer. The first to get it right via text will win the $25 gift card to Humdingers. The question is, on Sunday, Anthony Davis put up 50 points for the LA Lakers. It made him just the second teammate of LeBron James ever to score 50 points in a game. Who was the other one? LeBron James' teammate to score 50 points in a game. Who other than Anthony Davis has done that? 67129. Text your answers in. First to get it right will get the $25 gift card to Humdingers.
Without further ado, it is great to catch up again with our good friend John Daly, the two-time major golf champion. You can follow him on Twitter at PGA_John Daly, part of the Champions Tour now. And he and his son, LJ, just had a fabulous time in Orlando in the annual father-son event. And he joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. Happy holidays to you, JD. How are you?
Good. Back at you. How you guys doing?
Man, we're doing fantastic. Before we jump into the golf, and I know you had a lot of fun this past week, and you and I were texting back and forth last week, and you were hoping Lane Kiffin at Arkansas. I thought it was Lane Kiffin at Arkansas. He ends up going to Ole Miss, and you get some guy named Sam Pittman, who was formerly on the staff, a jovial offensive line type guy who comes from Georgia. So what can you tell us, John? Give us the scouting report on Sam Pittman.
Hey, Sam Pittman was here under Bielema, and he's an unbelievable recruiter, and he did wonders for that offensive line at Georgia. I just don't know what coach can get us back on track in an early time. I mean, I watched us play. I know I saw our team give up in LSU. That disheartened me pretty bad. Saw us give up a few other times, and it's just sad. There's just not a lot of talent at Arkansas. It just looks like to me, and it's there a little bit maybe, but I think I don't know. You went from one extreme, the biggest offensive line in probably in the history of football alone when Bielema was there, and now then Chad comes in and trying to change it, which we all probably thought was a good idea, faster tempo, but we never saw it really that much. Our offensive line was very small, and it just didn't work. So. Pittman, I just don't know. I'm wishing him well, and I'm glad he's there. And Kiffin, I think that was just all Jimmy Sexton with the power that he has,
right?
With his guy, and I really thought we had Kiffin, but I'm going to root for whoever coaches the University of Arkansas because I'm such a big fan and I love our Hogs. I hope Pittman can turn it around, but I look at all the angles of our football program. Our defense is just absolutely horrible. Probably the most points scored on in the SEC. Who knows? But we've never been a good defensive football team. You always talk about LSU's defense or Georgia sometimes, or the top 3 or 4 teams. Arkansas has never, I don't think, been in the top 3 in defense in the SEC since we've been in there. And I don't understand why coaches don't look at that and try and improve that. But hopefully Pittman will get it done. I'm excited, and but we all as Hog fans, we got to be patient. We got to at least give him 3-4 years.
Well,
we owe too many coaches.
That's true.
And we owe the worst. And we owe the worst athletic director in the history of athletic directors. The history of athletic directors.
The history.
Who can run any program. Jeff Long. We owe him so much money, which is a joke because he is the worst athletic director on the planet. I can't stand that man.
So tell us what you really
I
think.
hope he fails in Kansas. I hope they fire him in 2 years. One, he's an egotistical piece of crap. I can't stand that man. He ruined our program.
Really? It's all on
Yeah.
one guy, huh?
He's the athletic director. He needs to take responsibility of the coaches he hires.
Right. That is one upset John Daly right
you
there.
said
ladies and
that
gentlemen.
they have to be
what
patient.
really upset me about Jeff Long is you do not put Coca-Cola in our stadium. I hate Pepsi.
I'm with
the
you,
number
man.
one confiscated drink in the University of Arkansas football stadium was Coca-Cola and Diet Coke.
I'm a Diet Coke guy too.
Oh,
So that's what it is. It's personal for John. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is personal. But you know what? Look at our program.
I know.
Petrino leaves. Jeff Long comes in. Coach Brules is the one who hired Petrino, not Jeff Long. So Jeff Long hires Belima. Didn't work out, and he just didn't do anything good for our university. I don't wish him any success because he just was an egotistical crowd. He was so mean to me. He took my sideline passes away. Didn't like any alumni. I have no respect for Jeff Long.
You said that the folks have to be patient. Do Arkansas fans have the patience to allow somebody the time to try and turn this around?
We do. I mean, you look at Arkansas football. We've only had maybe 10 since 1894. When games are like 3 or 4 games, then it moved to 7 or 8. Our only undefeated season was Broyles in '64, the national championship. He follows it up with 10-1 or something in '65. I think Lou Holtz had a 10-game winning season. Houston Nutt had a couple. Petrino's probably had our most wins, him and Houston Nutt. But when you look at the tradition of Arkansas football over the last, zillion years, we've only had about 10 to 11 seasons with 10 games that we won. So if Arkansas goes 7-5, yeah, we're a little ticked off. But we've always been a fan base. You go 8-4, we settle for it, which I never really have, but our fan base does. What bowl are we going to? Because people in Arkansas, we just support the Hogs. It seems like all we care about is going to a bowl. And we have just as nice facilities as anybody else in the nation. We just can't seem to get over the hump. Bobby Petrino, God love him. I wish he kind of would have been able to stay there. He had us going in the right track. Only guy to put us in a BCS game besides, of course, Coach Broyles winning the national champion in '64. But we've just never had consistency, and I look at defense more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't believe the Hogs, since they've been in the SEC, have been in the top 2 or 3 in defense, and I don't know why coaches don't look at that.
We know how much you love Arkansas. It's pretty apparent if people are hearing John for the very first time. But also, somewhere in that heart, I know there's a love for Memphis. You lived here in Memphis. You have a lot of people that adore you here in Memphis. You have a lot of friends here. So I'm sure, even though Arkansas is first and foremost, you were pretty happy to see what Memphis was able to do this year in football.
Oh, I always root for Memphis. Mike Miller's a good friend of mine. Penny's a good friend of mine. I always look at their scores and see how the basketball program's doing. I follow Kentucky a little bit. Coach Cal was my buddy. I only root against Memphis and Kentucky when they play Arkansas. That's the only time I root against them. But you had a hell of a football coach there, and it's sad that he's leaving, going to Florida State. Norvell, I mean, what a change of a program. I mean, y'all can agree. I mean, he brought the program basically back from the dead.
Oh my gosh! I
And
mean,
that's what-
Fuente started it, John, but boy, Mike Norvell took it to another level.
Oh, I mean, 11-1, winning your conference for the first time in history.
Pretty special.
I mean, is that the first time they've ever won their conference in the history of Memphis Tiger football?
No, it's the first conference championship game they won, but they've been co-champions.
Yeah, I think they wasn't there one other outright championship way back in the day, but as far as like in any modern times.
But rare to say the least. Would you like to see Arkansas and Memphis play in both sports?
I believe Arkansas and Memphis should always play. I agree with the Broyles rule. I don't like separating the state like Mississippi State and Ole Miss plays. I don't believe Arkansas State and Arkansas should ever play. I think we need to root for those. Both of us need to root for each other. And I think it divides the state a lot. And Arkansas is not enough population to be dividing our state between Arkansas State and Arkansas. And that way we can root for Arkansas State and we can root for the Hogs. And but I do believe we should play Memphis I think every year we should play Memphis in football and basketball and all the sports. I mean, it's close. It would be a good rivalry. It'd be a respectful rivalry. I mean, we recruit like hell out of Memphis, just like, a lot of teams do, especially in basketball, and they got great football there too. So it's a good recruiting city as well, whether people believe it or not. There's a lot of great athletes that come out of Memphis.
Do you know Musselman very well?
I'm getting to know him, and he's, I've been texting back and forth. I always wish him luck in the games, and hell of a coach, hell of a recruiter. I mean, some of the recruits we got coming in for next year looks pretty good. And I was really close to Coach Anderson, and I cried when he got fired, and I didn't understand it, and I vented, and I had my peace with myself and all of our friends. We love Coach Anderson. What he did last year with nothing but freshmen, what he did almost going to the tournament was pretty phenomenal with a winning record. He had to rebuild and start over. The Musselmans come in, and like I said, I follow my coaches. I want Anderson to do well at St. John's, but now I'm on Musselman's back, and I love him. He's really passionate about it, and putting Nola Richardson's name on our court is like the greatest thing ever.
Mm-hmm. With your schedule, how often do you get to go to a game?
With my body and everything, the winters are tough for me to stay in Arkansas much, so I stay down here in Florida. Mm-hmm. My body's got aches and pains. I just had knee surgery, and plus I've always hated cold weather. So hopefully, maybe I've got to go back up in February and fight the cold for 2 or 3 weeks before we get my golf course open again in March. So I'll catch a couple games then.
You and Little John had a nice tournament. You shot 60 on Sunday in the annual father-son event. I think you finished, 4th or 5th, I believe. And I'm sure you had a great time. Boy, your son is a hell of a player.
He, in the last year, has got so much power now. I mean, he hit a little growth spurt, and now he hits it past me off the tee, and he's just passionate and dedicated to the game, and his practice ethics are. When I was his age, I practiced, but this kid, he practices like VJ Singh. It's amazing, and I'm so proud of him. And for me, it's Little John wants to win, and I do too, but we were the best three-legged team this last weekend.
Yeah, so where are you with your health after the surgery?
Well, I'm on the 5th week. If anybody's had knee replacements or anything, the nights just kill you because it stiffens up and you can't sleep. So
right.
I'm fighting that. So I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks what Dr. Moore out of Little Rock got. If you got knee problems, just slide over to Dr. Moore in Little Rock. Samuel Moore, he's the best. Hopefully in a couple of weeks his pain will go away. But I've rehabbed it really well. I'm way ahead of schedule. Everybody thought I was crazy for playing last weekend, but what we do for our kids, it's crazy, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, you got to do what you can do, man. You got to fight through pain, and you guys did. It was fun. It was fun watching you guys out there, and boy, just to see I hadn't seen your son in a while, and then watch like, oh my gosh, he has definitely hit a growth spurt. So good for you. I'm sure you're enjoying how he's moving along in life and becoming a nice young man, and hopefully a future PGA Tour player. But what about you as far as the Champions Tour? Are you enjoying yourself out there when you're healthy, when you're 100%?
Yeah, I mean, I've been fighting this leg for 5 years, and, it's that old thing, well, we can't do surgery, you're too young, you're too old, and then I finally begged Dr. Bradley, who's a protege of Dr. Andrews, like Dr. Moore is, and I begged him, I said, guys, it's been 4 or 5 years, and I'm tired of limping. I'm tired of walking this way. I'm tired of trying to be competitive against these guys that are so good on the. These guys are great players in the senior tour, and they're great everywhere. It doesn't matter what tour you play. I can't beat them this way, and how I did in a few tournaments, I'll never know. But when I get this thing healthy here in 2 or 3 weeks, it's going to be the first time I've been able to walk right in 5 years. And
Oh my God!
hopefully, I can get some of my power back and get some confidence back in my game that I can compete with these guys.
Do you know how much do you know Doug Barron, who of course had the great chance coming out on the tour and getting a win and doing what he did?
Dougie is one of the nicest people I've ever met. Him and his wife and his family. When he was out on tour for a little bit, we were friends, and I was so ecstatically happy when he won the Dick's Sporting Goods. Just coming out, and he had some health issues as well for a long time, and he's back to hopefully being healthy. But just to watch him win, and he's one of the all-time just nicest guys. He's like Ken Duke, or Matt Kuchar. They've never said a bad word or mean to anybody. They're just the nicest people on the planet, and Doug's one of them. And I'll see him out there again. I'll see him in Hawaii this year, and we just look at each other and laugh because we've had some fun in Memphis. We won't go any further than that.
Well, Kuchar.
Wait, those stories are out there, John. You know we can find out.
Kuchar's a nice guy, but the one caddy may disagree with you on Kuchar that didn't get the money from him.
Oh, what did you think of that, John?
Well, let me tell you. Look, now what Kuchar did, he had a deal made with this guy. Okay, you got to think a Mexican caddy that has never probably made over 500 pesos in a week. Okay, they agreed to $3,000 for the week. That is unbelievable. That's like 10% of 30,000 is $3,000. That's a lot of money for a caddy. Okay, maybe not on that tour, but that's the deal they made. And what I've always done is I pay my caddy a flat fee, and then I give him 10% on the senior tour. So that's just the way I am. But if I would have been Cooch, it was it was weird. But if that's the only thing that Cooch has ever really done wrong in his life, oh come on, we got to give him a break.
Hey, I was supporting him on this show. I go, you made a deal. I mean, you don't live by the deal you made. And it's like once they realize, wait, look at the money he made in the tournament, he deserves more. And people, they're, don't get me started with that. I'm with you. I mean, you make a deal, you make a deal. If you don't sign the damn deal, right? Don't agree on it.
But the thing about it is, Cooch kind of knows. I'm defending him, but he knows that most tournaments, if you win a tournament, you give 10% to the caddy. You waive the weekly fee, and you just give him 10% of the money. And what did he win? $1 million something. So the caddy should have got $100. I would have given my caddy $100,000, whatever the 10% of the money would be.
Okay, so even if you had the deal, even if you agreed on the deal, you'd still, because you won, give him that type of money.
Yeah, I mean, but he did make a deal with the caddy, and the caddy agreed to it. So I can't hold Cooch responsible for it. I mean, they made a deal. You're right, but the standard caddy thing is if you win, you usually give the caddy 10%.
Gotcha.
John, did you see the video of what Patrick Reed did this past weekend?
I don't really watch golf. If I want to take a nap, I'll watch it because the commentating just puts me to sleep. I don't know why. I love the guys that commentate, but you can only say so much when you're commentating on golf. I feel bad for the commentators, especially with the slow play going on. You put a guy, the poor camera guys are sitting there on Bryce DeChambeau for 4 to 5 minutes, and he hasn't hit a shot. Well, we need to go to commercial break. But the game's too slow for me, and I love all these guys, and I don't disrespect Bryce and all them. But seriously, it's too slow. We all know it, and they're trying to change it. But I looked at the glimpse of it, and if it had been anybody else, we'd be going, okay, it's a mistake. But Patrick's always been cool to me, and what he did was wrong. But did he really know he did it, or did he really know he didn't do it? And it's hard. That's only in his heart, not mine. But it looked suspicious to all of us. But you do it once, but then you do it again.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That really looks suspicious to me. And you saw the lie. It was just god awful. And but that's between him and the good Lord above. I'm not going to judge him over that because he's had a hell of a career. And if everybody gets to know Patrick, he's a pretty cool dude. He's just a grinder, and he wants to win like nobody else. And he does. And So I'm not going to hold it against him. Hell, it happens to everybody, you know.
Will you? I know you said if you want to nap, you watch golf, but will you watch the President's Cup at all? Do you care that much about it?
It doesn't intrigue me too much. You know, I don't even hardly watch the Ryder Cup. It just doesn't. I don't. You know, I wish the Americans well, but it's not like I'm going to sit and block out 4 or 5 hours in a day to watch the President's Cup or the Ryder Cup. I just don't do it.
Gotcha. Well, listen, we love catching up with you, John. Really appreciate you doing that. We want to wish you nothing but the best in your recovery as you get as close as you can to 100% to get back out there on the Champions Tour. We always enjoy watching you, and we always enjoy talking with you. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it, John. And happy holidays to you and the family.
You guys too. Take care, and hope Memphis. What bowl? I saw it.
Cotton Bowl.
Cotton Bowl against
Penn State.
Who? Penn. Oh, that's going to be a hell of a game. That'll be if Memphis wins that is going to be awesome. Now, let me ask y'all a question. Is Norvell already done? Is he going to Florida State, or will he coach that game?
No, he won't coach. They've named Ryan Silverfield the interim head coach. He was the co-OC.
Okay, well, I wish them luck, and I wish Penny and Mike Miller luck at Memphis Tigers, and and of course, go Hogs.
We will, and we'll pass your best along to Jeff Long.
Yeah, go ahead and give him a call. I was hoping that maybe Hunter. I love Hunter. I knew AD. He's the best. I was hoping he'd go after Les Miles.
Oh, that would have been nice. All right, my friend. Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
You got it. See you.
John Daly, two-time major champion. He is the best. He had the, if you watch any of the father-son, he wears the loudmouth apparel, and his son is, they're matching clothes that they wear. It's just so funny watching those guys out there. They stand out, and they're playing with guys like, who ended up winning it? Was it, what's his name? Robo golfer, who's just a freak of nature. Bernhard Langer. I think it was Langer and his son that won. I was going to ask John if Longer's an actual robot. I really believe he is a robot.
How old is Longer's son?
I don't know, but these guys are like.
They could have they could have 3 generations, I'd imagine.
Longer's like he's robotic and he's great and he doesn't age. I think he's not real. I don't think he's a human being. And then there's John and little John out there with these loudmouth apparel clothes all weekend long. It was fun to watch. I didn't watch a ton of it, but when I watched it on Sunday, those guys did great. They had a 60 on Sunday and finished in 5th place.
I did not realize that he had that hatred for Jeff Long. That's man, he's not a fan.
And he behaved himself. He didn't let any expletives fly.
I thought some were coming there. We do have a correct answer. We've got multiple correct answers. Gabe, I'm going to have to let you be the tiebreaker here because we had 4 people all text with the same timestamp here. So people were all over this one. It was not a very difficult question. Some people, there was 2 people that I knew would get guessed a lot, and they did get guessed a lot. But the other teammate of LeBron James to score 50 points in a game, he actually did it twice. Anthony Davis has now done it once. Kyrie Irving did it twice as teammates of LeBron. One of the games LeBron did not play. One of the games LeBron did play. Anthony Davis, of course, did it in a game which LeBron played. But Kyrie Irving was the correct answer, the only other teammate of LeBron James to ever score 50 points in an NBA game. All right, Gabe, hold on. Let me get these correct here. I'm going to assign numbers randomly to each one of these. All right, give me a number 1 through 4.
4.
All right, that is going to be this one right here. Okay, I will. The person who he picked, you will be getting a notification that you are the winner. If you do not get the notification, well, you can blame Gabe.
Folks, how would you like a full
year? You can come up here and deal with him in person.
A full year with no house payment. Go to sports56whbq.com right now to enter our Home for the Holidays contest, and you have a chance to win a full year of mortgage or rent payments. That's right, win a year's worth of house payments. Go to sports56whbq.com to enter. When we come back, University of Memphis Associate AD Steve Macy. He is going to talk some Cotton Bowl. We're going to talk about the ticket situation, which is a little dicey, and a little bit on the coaching change. That's all coming up next when we continue on Middays, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
I love fall. The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. Gourmet Chef Drew invites you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. Their newly renovated drive-in repair shop is open to the public. Whether it'll be your everyday driver, farm equipment, fleet vehicle, or heavy-duty truck, their ASE-certified technicians will get you back on the road. The on-site dyno is ready to run all the necessary diagnostic testing. From preventative maintenance to complete overhauls, Mid-South Power can handle it all. Stop in today at 3288 Mill Branch Road or call 901-396-0710 and online at mid-southpower.com.
Flo here with a word that's just weird. Terry cloth. Who exactly is Terry? And why does he get his own fabric? Did he journey below SPF 50? Fight off some weeds in his daffodils? How about a word for everyone? Flotection. Yeah, I just made it up. But I'm not making up how great it feels when me and Progressive protect your new home. Ever think of that, Terry? No. Terry only thinks of himself.
Save an average of 17% on car insurance when you bundle home and auto through Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Do you suffer from pain, stress, anxiety, depression, PTSD, arthritis, and multiple sclerosis? You want an all-natural way to manage these conditions. Hempville is unlike any CBD store you've ever seen. It's not a one-size-or-brand-fits-all. Hempville has a variety of CBD applications and brand names. They have a well-trained professional staff to help educate you on CBD and what application is best for your individual needs. Hempville has 2 locations to serve you. South Haven at 562 Goodman Road East and Oxford at 1801 Jackson Avenue West. Hempville, where your relief is their mission.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
You know it's better to give than receive, right? When you donate a gift at All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch, you can receive a free lunch this Friday beginning at 11 a.m. Just bring a toy to All-Star Chevy for the kids at Winchester Elementary this Friday beginning at 11 a.m. There are also free prizes, and Greg and Eli from Sports 56 will be broadcasting live from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. While you're there, check out the new Silverado Traverses and the all-new Chevy Blazer. And if you buy one, you could save thousands paying what the employees pay. So come on out this Friday for free lunch and prizes, and bring a toy to donate to Winchester Elementary from All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and Sports 56.
Bust it. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by Gold Strike Casino and Resort in Tunica. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
So Wayne texted in the first big text line, and he says Memphis won the Missouri Valley Championship in football. I thought there was a conference championship back in the day.
Good memory.
There was an outright conference title, not a shared co-champions there, but I thought there was one. So I assume that I'm going to go with Wayne and say he's correct.
I was going to say 2014, I know it was a conference championship, but split 3 ways, that's
exactly.
lame. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's not that's
the inaugural season where they just didn't have a championship game. It was.
Did they
that
ever?
doesn't count. I mean, it counts.
But it's not. Yeah, that's like outright conference champions. I thought there was one back in the day, and that's probably the one we.
Did they ever get anything at Conference USA? A little share? Nothing.
I don't think they ever shared conference. They never even. That's the thing. Like even when D'Angelo was here, they still didn't even compete for the conference title.
Right. And this one is all theirs outright. 12-1 to this point, and now getting ready to play Penn State in the Cotton Bowl. Try to finish 13-1. We're joined now by our weekly guest from the University of Memphis, our good friend Steve Macy, Senior Associate AD at the U of M. You can follow him on Twitter at Steve Macy. He joins us now on Middays. Hi, Steve.
Good afternoon, guys, or morning. How are you?
Man, we're doing fantastic. So you guys are getting ready to do a little scouting, huh, the Cotton Bowl?
We are, yeah. We are at the airport now. We're heading out to the Cotton Bowl for the site visit today, and we'll have a couple meetings this afternoon and then a full day tomorrow, and then head back home tomorrow night and really just see all the facilities, look at the different areas that we'll need. A lot of this will be for the team, and Jeff Cupper's on the trip to scout things out for the team, making sure practice needs are taken care of, hotel needs, the hospitality needs, food, all of those things that go into a week-long trip is everything we're looking at, and we're excited because this is, from everybody I've talked to nationally, the Cotton Bowl is second to none of bowl games, and the way they treat their participants is top of the line. So we're pretty fired up about this opportunity for sure.
You're getting the answers to the questions that you have on the site visit, but do you guys already know, one, what hotel the team's staying at, and two, where the team is practicing?
Yeah, all of that stuff's already squared away, and those are part of the details that come with the bowl manual. And the team's going to be at the Gaylord, and they'll be doing most of their practicing right there at Jerry's World in the AT&T Stadium. So it's a pretty big time opportunity for everybody.
That's a pretty good practice facility.
Yeah, I think that's can't be too bad. It probably tops a couple of the ones in the league that so it probably isn't it probably rake up there okay.
The price was just under what it cost for the Memphis indoor facility.
Well, that's I think you could model your indoor practice facility off of that one after you get to really see that and practice in it.
Yeah, stop all construction. We're going to redo this, and we're going to base it on what the Cowboys have done exactly.
We decided we need a 80-yard video screen in our indoor practice facility. It's just nice to have one of those.
If you stuck Jerry's World, that stadium right there on the South Campus, it would go all the way up to like 240. 240 you get well.
Yeah, that would. I'm trying to even figure out what that would do to the footprint of the city anywhere. You
That place is pretty darn large. Well, okay, let's talk tickets for the Cotton Bowl because this is with these bowl games. You guys need people to buy from you. Other people have said they could find better seats cheaper elsewhere. But okay, what are the tickets that you guys have, and how does all this work?
So the way that all of these bowls are structured is that there's a guaranteed payout, and as part of that payout, they give you tickets as part of that. In this case, we get 12,500 tickets, and they say this is part of your payout. You can sell these, and so what they give us as the list price is less than what the bowl actually sells them for. So the $100 tickets, the bowl actually sells for $150. The $225, the bowl sells for $250. And the 300 ones, the bowl sells for $325. So we actually get a decent deal off the list price. Unfortunately, for us as participants, and really this happens at a lot of different bowl games where they will sell a bunch of corporate packages, and then once the corporations get them, let's say there's 50 tickets in that package, the company may say, all right, we're going to spread these out amongst our employees or give them away in some other way, shape, or form. And so somebody gets a free ticket and puts it on the secondary market because maybe the game isn't something they really want to go to, or they're not a football fan, and suddenly you have tickets that are inexpensive compared to what's the going rate. And our fans are buying those. I get that. It unfortunately, it's lost revenue for the university because those are tickets that we're obligated to sell, or that comes out of what we would receive as a bowl guarantee and revenue that frankly that we need and are depending upon. And we're asking fans to give every consideration to making that decision, or or buy a couple extra tickets and donate them to local charities there in Dallas, something along those lines, just to help us satisfy that bowl need. But that's kind of the bowl business in a nutshell. And some of the smaller bowls, whether some of these early ones, they're almost entirely dependent on ticket sales for the guarantee for the schools.
It's also tough to gauge how many fans are going, because let's say 10,000 buy from the school, which is short of the allotment you're given. So that's 2,500 short, and that comes out of your pocket, basically, out of what you're getting from the Cotton Bowl. But another 7,000 buy from somewhere else, StubHub or whatever. And so people think that, wow, Memphis could not fill their allotment. They couldn't sell all those tickets, yet you have all these other people coming from another source. So it's kind of tough to judge, and there's like a negative connotation that comes with not selling your allotment.
Yeah, and I don't know that that would be something that would come out publicly as whether you sold your allotment or not. But I think when you look in the stands and you're looking for Tiger Blue and you see a good representation of our city in the 901 there at the stadium, that'll be a good indication that Memphis is up to the task and is a big time program and travels like the big boys or whatever you want to call it. But I think that's we've got and kind of look at this as a responsibility as a football program and as a community to say, look, we've got the team. We've put the team out there. It's 12-1, ranked in the top 15. Let's show that we are that type of top 15 team that can travel. I know we don't have as many alums or students as somebody like Penn State, but I think we've got passionate fans, and our fan base is the type of fan base that says, hey, when we're gonna go represent the 901 and show that we belong and that we're not small time. We're the big time program that we all aspire to be, and part of it is all of those things combined. It's the team, it's the fan base, it's the budget. All of those things matter, and they're all what make a program a top 15, top 10 type of program.
The thing too, as you mentioned with the tickets, and I've told some people this. I mean, basically, yes, you might be able to find the tickets cheaper elsewhere, as you said. But I mean, this comes to, I guess, a thing of if you really want to support the university,
right?
I mean, the part of it is the extra cost you may have to have is the supporting of the university, just like buying tickets for other stuff or a donation you make to buy season tickets or whatever. It's there's a thing here about just supporting the university and maybe paying a little extra money.
And Eli, I think that's a great point, is that, ultimately that's what we're asking is people to make that decision, that buying decision that, yeah, this may not be the cheapest ticket that you can go find online, but there's a couple caveats. Cotton Bowl put out a tweet yesterday just saying, look, there's some tough counterfeiting that goes on in the Dallas market from a ticket standpoint. We won't stand by any of those secondary market tickets. So, and they even encourage people to buy from us, and that's appreciated, but that's also, another concern is, all right, you can end up with your two seats in the middle of the Penn State section, or you want to be in the block of seats that Memphis has. And we have some pretty good seats. They're not 50-yard line, but they're down around the end zone, all the way out to about the 30. And I think they're some quality seats that we have, and we really do need people to make that decision, or we're asking them to make that decision to say, hey, this is important to the university, and we want this bowl experience to be as positive for the university as possible, because it's a bowl game requires you to stay several days at a hotel, and that the team itself with food and hotel rooms, that adds up, and it ends up being a pretty big number. So there's some definite hard costs associated with going to a bowl game and a plane and all those things that we've got to cover, and the ticket revenue is a big part of that.
Yet for the fans, I know there's excitement because it is not the norm. It's, with all due respect to Birmingham, it's not Birmingham going back to Birmingham. It's the Cotton Bowl, for goodness sakes. And you never know
exactly
if this will come up again you hope that it will come up in the not too distant future, another one of the New Year's 6 games. But you have the Cotton Bowl, and people have been hankering for something different. Plus, you talk about the flight for the team, obviously, but it could be a drive for people. We're going to be driving down there, part of the broadcast team. So it's a drive. It's not like you're going out to Los Angeles or out on the West Coast.
Right.
And so this is one I think people are going to be excited about. With that said, Steve, since the game wrapped up on Saturday and whenever the tickets started to go on sale, what has it been like?
It's been okay. I think that, there's been some other things going on with with coach search and with Coach Norvell moving on and Coach Silverfield taking over. There's been some other things that have been on people's minds, and tickets are okay. I would not say they're good or great. They're just okay. And I'm hoping that as we got further away from kind of that news, that people get really ramped up. Like you said, this is a big-time game. This is a big-time moment, a big-time opportunity. And it's never happened before. Doesn't mean it won't happen again really soon, but let's take full advantage of it. Let's make it an easy decision for everyone to look at Memphis and say, boy, they'd be a great addition and a great travel partner for any bowl game that they may go to. But this one's drivable. It's at a favorable site. I think Dallas is a decent place to go to and enjoy. And obviously playing an incredible opponent in a number 10 Penn State in one of the coolest stadiums that I've ever seen. We've got basically everything in our favor for this to be a great fan experience. And right now we're just at the point of saying, all right, let's go. Come on, 901. Let's get up and support this event and this football program and make sure that the Cotton Bowl experience for our student athletes, our coaches, and our entire community is as awesome as it can be.
Steve, we got a text from somebody asking if there's any chance that you guys would end up moving the time of the basketball game on the day of the bowl game.
We are not. We are tied into that because it's on ESPN2, so we've got a TV obligation. However, we are working with, and basketball is fully supportive of this, we're working with our conference and also with the FedEx Forum to put the football game on in those top 4 corner boards and have that up during the duration of the basketball game so that people can keep track of the bowl game and still enjoy basketball. So if you're staying in Memphis and you're a basketball fan and want to see that, we're going to give you the opportunity at least to watch the bowl game there in the stadium. Or in the arena, I mean.
That's always weird stuff when you do that because then, like, the crowd starts cheering and you're like, what? There's nothing happening right now. I'm like, oh, that's right. There's a football game being shown up there.
Yeah,
like,
you
everybody
hope
goes nuts in the middle of just of like a timeout.
Well, you hope it doesn't happen when one of our guys is shooting an important free throw is what you kind of hope is like, all right, nothing big happened here. But I think it's one of those things that to serve the fan base, this is the right thing to do. And so anybody that's going to stay in Memphis and is going to go to the basketball game, we don't want you to feel like you're going to be left out of watching this Cotton Bowl opportunity. So we're trying to make the best of a tough scheduling situation there on the 28th of December.
Didn't it happen either last year or 2 years ago with the American Championship game that was on the big screen while the Tigers were playing a basketball game? Because I was broadcasting.
We did.
I remember that.
Yeah, we had it on pregame, and then when the pregame stuff started, we turned the volume to the regular basketball team pregame and left the game on the big screen. And then obviously when the basketball game started, it had to come off the screens, but they had them on in the concourses, and there were some roars around the concourse from time to time. And then once the basketball game ended, we went back to the football game being on there in the FedEx Forum. Yep, it was. They've been great about helping us find ways to serve our fan base and making sure that by deciding to come down to FedEx Forum for a basketball game, they're not missing out on something else that's happening big in Memphis athletics. And I appreciate that. It's not the easiest thing for them to do that, and we got to go through a couple of permissions, but they've been great about allowing us to make that a priority for our fans.
Busy time, even though you lost your head coach. It's fun times with a Cotton Bowl coming up, with Tigers basketball, and sooner or later, James Wiseman is going to return. Things are good for Memphis athletics. He is Steve Macy, Senior Associate AD at the University of Memphis. You can follow him on Twitter at Steve Macy. Safe travels down to Texas, and we'll talk to you soon, Steve.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, Steve, keep Cupper out of trouble on this
yes,
trip.
Sir.
Keep Cupper out of trouble.
I was not assigned the Cupper babysitting job this time. So there's someone else who got that role, so I'm feeling comfortable that my trip will be easy.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Steve Macy from the University of Memphis. Do want to tell you about our second hour sponsor, and that's the Gold Strike Casino Resort and the Moneyline Book Bar and Grill. Hey, it's the South's premier sports entertainment venue. It's inside the Gold Strike Casino Resort with 60 HD screens. You can lounge in plush seating, enjoy craft beers, signature cocktails, and great food. You can go down there and lay a bet and leave, or you can go and stay and enjoy it and make it an event. They also have the Top Golf Swing Suite right there in the book. A virtual reality experience, a variety of fun interactive games that every sports fan will love. Just call ahead, book your time, and you can have a little fun with that while you watch the games. 50-foot bar, 16 video poker machines, lively entertainment. Moneyline Book Bar and Grill is the South's only venue that brings together sports, gaming, dining, and nightlife into one exciting destination. Whether you're an avid sports fan or just looking for a special place to have a good time with friends, the state-of-the-art 6,000-square-foot setting is the place to be. I'm sure a lot of folks went there last night for Monday Night Football. They always have great specials for Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, whatever the case may be. You're going to have a great time at the Gold Strike Casino Resort and the Moneyline Book Bar and Grill. And don't forget, around the resort, they have 10 kiosks. These are betting kiosks where you can make your play. You don't have to just stand in line at the book to make your bet. You can do that in these kiosks located throughout the resort. It's the Gold Strike Casino Resort and the Moneyline Book Bar and Grill, the second-hour sponsor of Sports 56 Middays. When we come back, we got 2.5 questions. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
The Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farm All, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag Equipment can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, these tractors can tackle every chore on your to-do list. Call 662-890-3141 or stop in today to find a Case IH Farm All that's right for you.
If it's time for a new gun, rifle, or silencer, Tactical Guns and Gear in Collierville on Highway 72 is the best place to go. I promise they have the newest, most exciting selection of guns and silencers you could ever want. I don't care if you shoot for fun, hunt, or just need a gun for personal protection, Tactical Guns and Gear has the best selection of firearms around. The only one-stop silencer shop in Tennessee. In less than 10 minutes, they do all the paperwork. Take your photo, originate gun trust, take your prints electronically, and the best part, you never have to scan them again. Yes, silencers are legal. No special licensing, just a simple background check. Silencers don't make your firearms silent. They simply reduce noise for more enjoyable shooting. Help protect against hearing loss. Reduce recoil. It makes you more accurate. Best silencer place in the entire state of Tennessee, right here in Collierville. For all things guns and gear, ask for Jake or Jim at Tactical Guns and Gear on Highway 72 and tell them Eli says hi. Online at tacticalgunsandgear.com.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Heater trouble? Make your first call your last call. Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning and heating specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their special winter price for a heater tune-up is just $59, and 24-hour service is billed at normal rates. Your comfort is their highest priority. Contact airdoctorsofmemphis.com or call 901-598-HVAC. Did you learn your ABCs when you were a kid? Well, as a grown-up, it's time to learn your CBDs, as in CBD edibles, oil tincture, pain cream, and beauty products, all found at Your CBD Store. With 3 locations, Poplar Avenue, North Germantown Parkway, and Goodman Road East. You'll find all natural, organic, and non-GMO products. Need to learn more? Your CBD Store has a knowledgeable and friendly staff that can answer questions, help with choices, and put you at ease about your CBDs. Your CBD Store with 3 locations, Poplar Avenue, Cordova, and South Haven. Your CBD Store, making it as easy for you as ABC CBD.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by Gold Strike Casino and Resort in Tunica. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
All right.
Lane Kiffin, the new Ole Miss football coach, says his running backs coach at Florida Atlantic, Kevin Smith, who was the former UCF running back, remember him well, will join his Ole Miss staff. Did we ever get confirmation on whether he's going to keep McIntyre?
There's a report that he is going to keep him.
Okay, but nothing
the
from him.
Oxford Eagle, I believe it was, had a report that he was going to keep him, and then I don't think anything is official yet as far as that goes.
All right.
Time now for 2.5 questions.
Who, what, where, when, how, and why? Questions start with these. Step right up and answer all my questions, if you please.
I'm just a normal kid, like you, except that I ask questions. And because I'm brave enough to ask questions, I come under scrutiny.
Asking all them questions. Why you asking all them questions?
Now here is a question for you.
What does the fuck say?
Question number 1. Other than the playoff games and the Cotton Bowl, what are your top 3 bowl matchups?
Man, I need a list. I got to be honest with you. I haven't even looked at them that closely. Let's see. All right, and you said other than the Cotton Bowl,
I mean,
other than
Clemson, Ohio State has to be on there, right? The 2-3 game.
No, other than the playoffs.
Other than the
playoffs and the Cotton Bowl.
He said other than the playoffs and the Cotton Bowl. So let me. I'm going to have to roll through these things.
That's
here.
by far the best matchup. I mean, that's
okay. You're asking top 3. Doesn't have to be in order, right?
No.
Okay, hang on. Let's see. All right. So far, nothing's tickling my fancy here. Although I'll do a lot of watching, I'm sure. I'm going through this list. I'm going to keep Notre Dame, Ohio, and Iowa State right now. I'm holding that one. Notre Dame and Iowa State. Man. Jeez.
Fan of the Boca Raton Bowl? SMU, FAU?
No. Alabama, Michigan in the Citrus Bowl would be 1. Oregon, Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl would be 2. And the Notre Dame game I just talked about, Iowa State. They would be my 3. There's nothing that really is just crazy I can't wait to watch. There's some teams I certainly want to see, and I don't like some of their matchups. Like, I want to see Tennessee in the bowl game, and Indiana's like, and not that Indiana can't beat them, and I'm not saying they won't beat them, but they just don't do anything for me from a visual. Texas, Utah, nothing.
The Florida Atlantic SMU game could be entertaining as heck.
That's what I was going to say.
65, 62.
I was thinking outside the box on that one. Yeah. But, I mean, FAU losing their coach, that might play something into it. Another one I would like to watch is the Holiday Bowl. And I know Iowa is kind of boring at times, but Iowa, USC, I have friends on both sides of that one, and I think that one will be interesting.
I looked at that, but I hate watching Iowa. It's like
I do not
grass
blame
grow.
you one bit.
They're hard to watch.
Kentucky, Virginia Tech, interesting. Like the Orange Bowl. Like, I like watching Florida. I love Dan Mullen, but then they're playing Virginia.
I still have not recovered from the Iowa-Michigan game this year. I will never be the same after having watched that crap.
Even though Virginia had a lot of success this year, and Virginia basketball is the defending national champions and have had a lot of success under Tony Bennett. You're a Virginia sports fan, University of Virginia sports fan. It's just boring. Basketball is boring to watch because they're like this defensive-oriented team. Again, if you win, you can't argue with winning. And then football, they're okay. Bronco Mendenhall's done a decent job, but I'll stick with those 3 I gave you.
The good thing with that Iowa-USC game, if Kirk Ferentz beats USC in a bowl game, probably a 30-year extension. I mean, that's a big-time program he could get a win over.
He's already basically got a lifetime contract.
Yeah, I mean, his kids become a head coach. I think his kids will permanently become the head coach.
Well, I mean, Brian Ferentz is OC. I guarantee they're thinking about when Kirk steps down that would be the replacement.
Sure, kind of like what they just did at Washington. But we need to get Steve Berkowitz from USA Today back on the show to ask what the bonus will be if Kirk Ferentz wins a bowl game, because it's going to be a lot.
All right, question number 2. The Patriots at it again. If they were indeed filming the Bengals sidelines, their coaching signals, their substitution stuff, what should the NFL do to them?
They're the Teflon Don of the NFL. They're like a mobster back in the heyday, John Gotti. No matter what they do, it just bounces off them. Were they really taping? I mean, I know they were taping, but they have an excuse for why they did that. Do you really need to tape Cincinnati? So do you really believe that they were doing that to cheat? Or was it just one of those deals?
Well, why else? There's no other reason from the filming the sideline of the Bengals.
Well, I don't know. They explained whatever they did.
To show what your advanced scout does at a game does not require. There's a report that there's 8 minutes of them filming the Bengals sideline.
Patriots coach Bill Belichick on Tuesday denied any involvement with the videographer who was caught taping the Bengals sideline. It has raised suspicions around the league and has drawn some comparisons to Spygate. All right. He says, we're competitive and we'll try to be competitive in every area, but we don't knowingly, intentionally want to do anything that's crossed the line. I'm with you, though.
Oh, no, knowingly.
I'm with you, though. There's too many times that this has happened with the Patriots. So there's got to be something to it. So your question is, what do you do? If they can positively confirm that they were shooting, I mean, they know they have the video, but can they prove that they were doing it to use that as an advantage in their game planning for the game? I don't know if they can prove that. If they could prove it, what do? I would say you take away their first and second round draft pick. That's pretty serious.
Can we suspend Belichick, please?
For Spygate, did they lose the... What pick did they lose for Spygate?
I'll have to check. I think it was a first rounder because I remember they literally took off the 32nd pick.
Yeah, because I thought it was it just a first round pick and then they had the huge had a fine for Belichick.
Yeah. And a fine comes with the territory. Obviously, you're going to get fined, but I would go first round and second round. They're repeat offenders. That hits you pretty bad if you lose your first and second round pick. But they're notorious for being involved in this thing. And can it be all these times that you go, oh, yeah, they didn't have any idea. Belichick didn't have any idea. But I still say, why the hell are you doing it for Cincinnati? But it is New England. It's a repeat offender. First, second round. Lose your picks.
Question number 3. Major League Baseball now has removed its ban on marijuana in the minor leagues as well as it had already done in the major league.
Oh, it has, really?
Should every professional sports league get rid of a ban on marijuana?
Yes. Just do away with it. Look, it's not my cup of tea, but my gosh, come on. Just do away with it. It's not performance-enhancing drugs. It's not making players better. It's helping players medicinally with injuries and things of that nature. Come on.
And this was sort of MLB's response to the opioid epidemic sort of thing going through baseball. So I get it, and I think, yes, you got to get rid of it eventually in all sports.
Absolutely.
Well, to me, it was dumb with baseball anyways. Like, if you're saying, like, at the major league level, we're not testing for it, why are you still testing for it at the minor league level anyway? Like, it's all part of your system. Like, who cares? Like,
right.
You say, oh, you reached this level. What are the advantages of becoming a major leaguer? You can now smoke pot.
Yeah, the guys that get paid less, get tested for it.
And then it's like, what if you're like that borderline guy? You come up, you're fine to smoke marijuana, but then you get sent down one day. Like, oh crap! Now I get tested for this again.
Yeah, it should be universal, right? It should be minor leagues, major leagues, the same rules. And I understand the minors now they'll use experimental rules, whether it be the robotic umpires and things of that nature. And the further you go down, the levels you have less umpires. Instead of 4, you have 3, and then I think seriously, I don't even know, some leagues may have 2, but all for cost-cutting measures to save money. I know experimental things go on, but that should be universal. Minor league, major league, and in all sports. Just get rid of it. The time has come. The time has come for us to take a break. It's high noon. Don Wade will join us next for The Dish, and then we'll talk NFL later in the hour. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Looking for a great place to deposit your money? Try First Bank. Competitive CD rates, a money market that moves with Wall Street prime and interest-bearing checking account options. Not to mention their friendly bankers who make decisions locally. To find out more, stop by one of First Bank's 3 local branches. 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper. 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase. And 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or visit firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC.
Who wants to go see some lights?
Funny thing about the holidays is, nothing flies by faster.
Hey guys, want to build a snowman? Ready to open presents? Excited for New Year's? Who's ready to go back to school?
Well, actually, the Lexus December to Remember sales event also goes by fast. That's because for a very limited time, you'll find some of our best offers on our most popular models. But don't wait. Offers end January 2nd. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Lexus of Memphis.
No, we'll do the New Year's resolution Central Barbecue spot next month in January.
That makes no sense. If the New Year's resolution spot for Central Barbecue is about resolving to eat more Central Barbecue, then the spot has to be done before they make their New Year's resolutions.
But I have to remind everyone that they can make their life much simpler during the holidays by picking up some Central Barbecue to feed everyone.
No, I get that. And believe me, I'm just happy we're not doing a spot about putting ribs in people's stockings.
I forgot about that one.
I feel like people already know they can pick up Central Barbecue for all their holiday events, whether it's family or work. But if we are going to do a New Year's resolution spot, it should be done now.
Too late. We're out of time.
For over 25 years, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 has been bringing you great local sports talk. With 13 hours of local talk daily, we continue to be Memphis's local sports leader. The day starts with Keith Parker and Elliot Wender on the Press Box from 6 to 7, followed by the Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt from 7 to 10. Sports 56 Middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie takes you through lunch from 10 until 1. And then, John Harden brings you Johnny Radio's Happy Hour from 1 to 3. Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy drive you home every afternoon with Sports Time with Wolo and Stats from 3 till 6. And John Rennie wraps up the day with Southern Sports Report from 6 to 7 before we turn things over to Fox Sports Radio to get you through the evening. We also bring you Ole Miss sports, NFL football, and the NCAA basketball tournament. Don't miss anything. Keep your radio locked in right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Farmers Insurance knows that when you're in the car and that song comes on, yes, that's the one, you have no choice but to pull out your imaginary drumsticks and smash those cymbals and stomp on that kick pedal, which unfortunately is the accelerator pedal. And we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent who knows a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Technology Truths, brought to you by Geico.
Technology Truths.
Truth, your car stereo will always sync to the most embarrassing song on your phone.
So the reservations are at 8.
Oh, great. What was that?
That was weird. Must have synced with a nearby car or something.
Truth, it's so easy to switch and save on car insurance at geico.com.
Let's just,
Wait, you like smooth jazz?
No, smooth jazz.
Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Summers span decades, winters can last a lifetime, and the struggle for the Iron Throne continues in Game of Thrones: The Final Season. Get it now on 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and DVD. The complete series also available on Blu-ray and DVD, now for purchase. But you could win it right here on Sports 56 with help from your friend Johnny Radio. Johnny's giving away 4 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and 4 digital copies. Who loves you this holiday season like Johnny? Nobody.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by 34 North Cocktails. Papa Top on a barrel thief or sneaky pucker from 34 North Cocktails today. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Some people call me the space cow.
Welcome back, everybody. 12:04 the time. Our final hour today here on this Tuesday edition of Sports 56 Middays. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoie, Gabe Kuhn, soon to be joined by Don Wade. Sports 56 Middays delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, FedEx, providing global access for small business. Learn more at fedex.com/e-commerce. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together Family Leisure right now, their buy one, get one half off Christmas sale is going on at 2120 Whitten Road, just past just north of I-40. I tell you, this is probably the best bet for you. You got the deal going on, the buy one, get one half off Christmas sale. We are going to be there all day long, broadcasting live on Thursday of this week for our annual Toys for Tots Radiothon. Come on by, bring some unwrapped new toys for the kids or some money, and then you can check out all the great deals at Family Leisure. Don Wade joins us from the Daily Memphian. He does each and every Tuesday. You can follow him on Twitter at DWadeMEM. All right, a lot to get into, Don. Let's start with Memphis. Completing the deal, beating Cincinnati for a second time, making it to the Cotton Bowl. You've been around here for a long time. When did we ever think, hey, you know what? It's a possibility Memphis football may play one day in the Cotton Bowl. And then the obvious, the thing that we knew was coming, the loss of the head coach, Mike Norvell. Your thoughts on everything that's gone down with Tiger football?
Well, I mean, nobody wanted to lose Mike Norvell, but as we've talked about before, you've got two choices. Either you're not successful or you're successful enough that the coaches move on from your program, which is now a legitimately good program, to a great program. And and I don't say that as a knock on Memphis. I say that as just that's what the reality is when the group of five is locked out of the playoff. Until the playoff changes, a group of five program, whether it's Boise State or Memphis or Appalachian State, cannot become a great program. If you get an 8-team playoff and one spot's reserved for the best group of five team, then your program can take another step. So Mike Norvell has to say yes to that job, right? Yeah, I mean, there's no other answer when Florida State comes calling.
But even if it goes to the 8-team deal and they say, yeah, one of you can get in every year, it's still not the same.
Of course not.
I mean,
odds are very much stacked against you.
Yeah, you're probably not going to get in, and even if you do, you're probably in as the 8th seed, playing the number 1 seed every single year. You're basically a sacrificial lamb in the first round of the thing. I mean, then to me, it makes you more comparable with the Vanderbilts and some of those jobs that are right now, theoretically, they have the path to the playoff and a national championship. But in reality, they're not winning it. So that's just kind of what you are.
I think what it does in that case is it still makes the job better. And right now, I think we'd agree that the Memphis job is better than the Arkansas job. It is, I think, better than the Missouri job. We're going to find out if it's better than the Ole Miss job. Maybe that one's up for debate, because there is a legitimate path under that scenario to get there. Where if you're Vanderbilt, yeah, technically there's a path to get there, but you're not getting there. We know, it's just not happening.
The thing is, you're still going to lose head coaches to better jobs if they're ultimately successful, because there are just better jobs, just like there are better jobs at Vanderbilt, and James Franklin left there to go to Penn State. All Power 5, but it's a way better job because of what you can do there.
But because it is a better job, does it make it easier for the powers that be to nail this hire for a third straight time?
It should. I think it really should. And, when Justin Fuente took the job, he took a gamble. He knew that there was a chance he would come here and it might not work. He might not be able to turn it around. And then he's maybe never coaching at a Power 5, right? That's the gamble he took. When Mike Norvell took the job, Justin Fuente had it in a place where Norvell could see a possibility of doing what he's done, and he was not taking the same level of risk that Fuente took. Now the risk is a different kind of risk. You've had 6 straight years of winning football, and there's some talent here. So whoever gets the job, whether they promote Ryan Silverfield or it's somebody from afar that comes in, there's a different level of expectation, right? You can't come in and go 5-7 and people will say, oh, well, that's okay. It's been down and it's just a guy's first year. No, you've got to come in and you've got to go to a bowl and you've got to be competitive from day one.
Can you, in Memphis' situation, because it's a better program, although it still doesn't have the resources of these Power 5 schools, can you afford to go completely outside of the family, bring in a coach, and expect this to just roll right along with players that accept somebody from the outside, as opposed to giving Ryan Silverfield the permanent gig, bringing in a guy who's been here before like Barry Odom in a defensive coordinator capacity or a Chip Long in an offensive coordinator capacity. Can you go and get somebody completely who will change everything, whole new staff, recruits, will have...
Let's back up a step because remember, this could have worked out completely differently. They wanted Barry Odom first, and they were lucky that he wanted to go to Missouri, and so they kind of fell into Mike Norvell. They dodged a bullet.
Second choice.
They dodged a bullet.
That's why I don't think they're going with Barry Odom this time around. But
I don't think there's a chance in the world. I also think that this is Laird Veach's hire, right?
That's what he says.
Yeah, and so that was not the case last time. There were a lot more chefs in the kitchen, I think, when Mike Norvell was hired. If this is truly Laird Veach's hire, I don't think he's going to promote from within, because you can't really take credit for that hire if he does well, particularly. Not like you can if you bring in somebody from the outside. He was already here under the previous coach. And so now maybe that doesn't matter to him. I don't know. But I think a lot of athletic directors would want the outside hire because it puts a bigger stamp as it being their guy.
Well, the thing is this, though. I mean, his hire, what does that truly mean? I mean, in the end, as an AD, you're listening to your boosters, your people that give you the money and all that stuff. So they've always leaned on those guys, some of those guys, that they even put together the committee of people. But whether it's Laird Veach will be making the hire, but it's not going to do it without the input of people who support this program.
He's gotta have their input.
And who do those people want? And that's going to be the question. I've heard Ryan Silverfield has made great relationships with a lot of those people. Barry Odom still has great relationships with a lot of those people.
But let me ask you this. How does Laird Veach get his Power 5 AD job? He hits a home run with this hire on the football coach.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. Dr. Rudd is a hands-on president in the athletic department, but this is his hand-picked AD. So I think Dr. Rudd would be more willing to let Laird have this, because I think in the past, he wants to make that decision. It's almost like a Jerry Jones thing going on there. But now that Laird's his guy, I think he has confidence that Laird is, yes, with input from some of the other powers that be, the Alan Graffs, the Brad Martins of the world, I'm sure will all be involved in this thing. But Laird said it. I don't think he would say that at the press conference when asked whose decision is it. He says it's my decision. I don't think he'd be lying and say, well, yeah, it's mine, and we know for a fact
he's
that
been
it's
a lot
not.
of places and crossed a lot of paths with people in football. I'm just saying, keep that in mind.
So you think when it's all said and done that they'll go for somebody from outside this current family?
I don't think it's certain, and I think Ryan Silverfield is definitely a worthy candidate. He's an impressive guy. All I'm saying is, if Laird Veach, as an athletic director at a non-Power 5 program, is thinking about his career at all and how he gets to become an athletic director at a Power 5, then it may be a while before he has a chance to make a hire like this. And so you hit the home run with a guy you bring in from the outside, and that may speed up your timeline.
Do you have any concerns about hiring a guy, if it is Silverfield, who has never been a play caller?
To me, the concern is that Norvell could have made him the coordinator a couple of times and didn't. You just wonder about that. I don't know if that's legitimate.
Well, but
Norvell's calling the plays.
He was never going to call plays regardless of what.
Right.
And he does. I mean, he was the run game coordinator or whatever.
Associate head coach or deputy head coach.
Yeah, I mean, he had various titles.
I don't think he'll call the plays. I think he would bring in somebody to call the plays.
Well, no, I'm not saying he would call the plays. Now, I'm just saying, but he's never been in that. There's. I mean, guys are hired as coordinator because you're in that thing. You're making decisions. Right. You're having to make spot decisions throughout a game constantly. He hasn't ever had that.
Yeah. I mean, there
is a typical kind of chain that is followed here. You become a coordinator, and then you go from coordinator to head coach, although Arkansas is not doing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and we remember the last time Memphis went that way.
Oof.
How important?
It's the hotshot recruiter who had never been a coordinator.
He's available. Hey, Don, how important is it in this day and age when it's easy to hear the players' point of view through social media, that the players are very vocal right now, and Gabe will back me up on this, that they want Ryan Silverfield. Should that even come into play, what the players want and maybe what the recruits want who may now change their mind depending on which way you go? Is that important?
I think you certainly listen to it, but, in the best case scenario, your coach is here a little bit longer than your players, although.
Maybe.
Uh-huh.
I said maybe.
Yeah, maybe, right? But I think between players that are currently on the team and the recruits, I think the room that's more important to read is the recruits. Because if that recruiting pipeline starts to dry up in any way, then you're done. Then your hire is a bad hire. So I would put more stock in that.
You have to make the right hire, obviously. But don't you have to make this hire pretty darn fast? With the early signing period, next week, and everything that's going on with recruits?
I would think so. I think you're taking a chance if you let it linger.
That's the part of the problem now that we deal with it. That's why Florida State had to hire Norvell immediately.
That's why he's not coaching in the Cotton Bowl.
Lane Kiffin had to leave immediately after their championship game. I mean, they don't have – you don't get the benefit of time and with this new early signing period that is to be dumb, but – that's the way they want to do it. So you're stuck in these situations.
That is a feather for Ryan Silverfield, though. If you go ahead and, name him tomorrow as your head coach, then boom, you're ready to roll on your, recruiting. Although he's, got the Cotton Bowl to prepare for too. You do simplify some of that.
Well, here's the other thing. Norvell is putting his staff together. So he's trying to figure out what's going on with Memphis. And if Silverfield is not retained, he's gone. I mean, he makes a beeline for Tallahassee. So you got all that juggling going on with staffs. That's extremely important too. And then how are you going to fill your staff? So there's so much uncertainty right now. But it's, again, like you said to start this thing, it's really a good problem. It's an unfortunate problem, the situation Memphis is in, but it's a good thing. That means they're doing well.
And let me say this, because I think it needs to be said on behalf of the Memphis players. If there is a lot of chaos, if they hire somebody from the outside, if Ryan Silverfield ends up joining Mike Norvell at Florida State, and it's just, a revolving door for a few weeks over there with people coming and going, and that affects what happens in the Cotton Bowl, that is, to me, a real shame, and yet again, another indication that in college football and college athletics in general, all the power rests with the coaches, and the student athletes just have to kind of take whatever comes.
But see, the thing is that, I get you can listen to the players, but it's not like if you hire somebody from the outside, the entire team is going to leave. I mean, they might be upset at first, then they'll talk to the new coach, and a lot of them will like the new coach and say, "Oh,
right,
that's true." I mean,
they'll say things.
They didn't hire Justin Fuente's assistant. They went to a different guy that nobody knew, and he came in, and he's did just fine. And you might even lose some of the recruits. You know what? The new guy will probably replace those with guys he's been recruiting wherever he was before. So it's like I just don't think you just go, oh, well, the players want this guy, therefore we got to have more. The recruits like this guy. The next guy will be just fine.
No, I hear you. Look, it can go either way. I mean, you can lose some key players. You may not lose some key players. You can if you bring in a different guy, or if you elevate the one guy. There's all things that are happening, especially in this day and age where transferring is going on like water. It's happening all the time.
You've got to have that gut feeling when you make the hire that's telling you this is my guy.
Mm-hmm.
And there can't be anything there that you're glossing over to convince yourself
well said.
That he's the guy.
And they nailed it the last two times. So we feel pretty confident that they're going to get it right again. There's some different players in here now, again, with Laird. But I would imagine, as we just said, some of the powers that be, and you know who they are, and with Dr. Rudd, you feel pretty confident that they can get it right again. All right.
The different thing, too, now is, as you said earlier, when they were hiring before, they had to sell the coach on why he should take this job.
Right.
Now they get to sit back and say, tell us why you should get this job.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
A nice switch.
Exactly. I know you were up late last night putting your report together, your story together on the Grizzlies, and I stayed up because John Morant was playing. If John Morant wasn't able to go last night, I can guarantee I would have watched the first quarter and went to bed. John Morant is must-watch, absolutely. He is on his way as long as there's no real setback going forward with the back to Rookie of the Year. I mean, Zion's probably not playing until after the 1st of January. That's been a big disappointment for Pelicans fans. But for Grizzlies fans and basketball fans in general around the country, they're watching a superstar in the making.
you know what I think is so cool about watching a Ja Morant game is a play will happen. Maybe it's the second quarter, early in the third quarter, and you go, wow, that's the wild play tonight. And then another play happens. And like last night when he did that fake behind the back pass and then hit the floater, I'm like, okay, that's it tonight. That's it tonight. And then toward the end of the game, he comes roaring down the lane with that two-hand slam. And Willie Cauley-Stein, the 7-footer for Golden State, backs away and just lets him have it like, I do not want to be in the middle of this poster. It was incredible. It's just there's always another play with this guy.
Boy, that's well said, Don, because that's exactly what I was observing, watching. Man, look at that. Wow, that one's better. That one's better. And the competitiveness, and they won the game. It's a bad team they play, and they're not a great team, but it's all about being competitive. And even with Ja the first time around against the Warriors, they were not. So they throw in these clunkers every once in a while, which you can expect. But with Ja on the floor and hopefully Brandon Clark here real soon, as long as they're out there competitive, fans understand that it's not going to be a great win-loss record. As long as they're out there having fun, putting on a show, and being competitive, I think fans understand that.
Yeah, and think about this, too. He hadn't played since November 29th. And not only did he have a game-high 26 points and 7 assists, he only had 2 turnovers. And they were trying to get the ball out of, get him to give up the ball all night, right? Yeah. You're supposed to, and he's a rookie. And so when you have a layoff like that after a little injury and you come back, you're on the road, there's supposed to be some evidence of rust. I didn't see any signs of rust. That's not normal. That great players do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even good players don't pull that off.
The question is, when's the next scheduled short-term offloading?
Yeah, there'll be one. We know that.
What is that? The week to week? Does next week mean he's off all week? I still don't even understand what they're doing.
Are you a little concerned about the news with Josh Jackson from yesterday?
If he just missed a team meeting, and from everything else I've heard coming out of South Haven and the Hustle camp and what a great teammate he's been and, yada, 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 I'd say it's, not quite a red flag. There's a tinge of pink on this flag. You shouldn't miss a team meeting. You know that. I'm willing to give benefit of the doubt on this, but you can't really give benefit of the doubt if there's a next time on something, because then you're like, okay, this guy still doesn't get why he's playing in the G League when clearly he's too good for the G League.
All right, one final thing. Subject that we'll switch gears to is Memphis and Tennessee basketball. If it wasn't for everything that was going on with football and the coaching search and the Cotton Bowl, and that's all we'd be talking about right now, Ja's performance last night and leading up to Tennessee.
You don't
Memphis.
want to talk about the Wizards-Grizzlies game Saturday night in FedEx. That's where that place is going to be electric.
No, but Friday night, the Greek Freak comes.
That will be electric.
That I'm hoping to go to. But in all seriousness, you have a Memphis-Tennessee basketball game, albeit on the road, that it's sort of lost a little bit of its luster, has it not? Because Wiseman will not be playing and Quinones will not be playing. So this payback and this full force. Now, I'm not saying the Tigers can't win the game, but it's going to be an awfully tough hill to climb. But you were hoping they were full force, all players on deck, and it's not going to be that. Does that take away a little bit?
Just wait for tip-off. That's what I would say. I think once it starts, there's going to be great energy in that building, and the intensity coming from the coaches on down will be there. I don't think it's got the hype leading up to it that we expected a few weeks ago for all the reasons you mentioned. But once the ball goes up, I think it'll be fine. I really do.
The one thing
Fists will be clenched.
I hope. We can hope.
Accusations will be made. I think the one thing about Penny's team is that even when they struggle a little bit at times, sometimes within the game itself, and they find a way and they come back. But they always seem to get up for the better teams, at least on paper, on the schedule. So I would imagine that we're going to see a much better performance than what we saw in that first half in Birmingham. If not, I don't think you can come back from that. So I think you're right. Once they tip on Saturday, even though it's not a depleted roster by any stretch of the imagination, it's still a very talented roster for Memphis. But to not have the full arsenal is disappointing. But I think they will go out there and be warriors. But it's tough. It's tough to win at Thompson Bowling, even if you have Wiseman. I mean, we've seen over the years here recently with Kentucky coming into Tennessee, they normally lose that game.
Well, Kentucky needs to worry about Evansville, first of all.
But, yeah, so you're right. The discussion is a little bit lacking. Maybe it'll be a lot more Thursday and Fridays as we get closer, but it's for obvious reasons with everything that's happening with football. Don, always appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Don Wade from the Daily Memphian. Read all his great stories at the Daily Memphian, and make sure you check him out every Tuesday right here during this time slot for the Daily Dish. You can follow him on Twitter at DWadeMEM. When we come back, we'll turn our attentions to the National Football League. Week 14 wrapped up last night with possibly the Eli Manning swan song. We'll go back and look at some of the big plays and the big players and the big wins from the weekend that was in the NFL. This is Middays. Oh, I want to tell you about Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration before we take the break. Brandon McCullough is my buddy. He's the owner of the company. It's locally owned and operated. He started this company from scratch, and for all your roofing and home repair needs, you call Brandon at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. Now, they offer financing, many different plans and options that suit your situation financially. They have a 6, a 12, an 18-month same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company. They'll work out of pocket. Your insurance company can't tell you what company you have to use. If you prefer Pinnacle, you can use Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration through your insurance company. They're part of the Roofs for Troops program. Any veteran, active, or retired, you get a $250 rebate on the purchase of a new roof. And they do both residential and commercial roofing. So business owners and property managers, if you have a leak or any other roofing issue, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They are licensed, bonded, and insured and a member of the Better Business Bureau. They have a 5-year labor warranty for all their roofs. 5-year labor warranty, and all their work is guaranteed. It's satisfaction guaranteed. Carpentry work, exterior painting, they can replace gutters, install shingles, put up fencing and siding, rotten wood repair. They can do it all. If you can't do it yourself, call the experts at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Quality work at a very good price. It's Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084. If you missed the number, call the station, and we will happily get it for you. Or go online to newroofmemphis.com. We'll take a break. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Heater trouble? Make your first call your last call. Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning and heating specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their special winter price for a heater tune-up is just $59, and 24-hour service is billed at normal rates. Your comfort is their highest priority. Contact airdoctorsofmemphis.com or call 901-598-HVAC.
Hi, this is Greg Gaston from Sports 56, and I want to tell you about Donnie Morrow and the Morrow Group at RE/MAX On Point Guarantee. They'll sell your home within 65 days or they will work for free. Donnie Morrow and his team have sold over 500 homes during the past 3 years, and over 200 homes sold last year alone. Call 901-359-9698 or go online at MidSouthHomefinder.com. List with Donnie Morrow and sell tomorrow. Realistically, these things can happen. Restrictions apply. See Realtor for terms and conditions. Free guarantee applies. A listing agent's commission. Each office is independently owned and operated. It's game on at the new Moneyline Book Bar and Grill inside the Gold Strike Casino Resort. Now you can bet on all of your favorite sports and watch the games on 60 HD TVs while you lounge in plush seating and enjoy craft beers, signature cocktails, and great food. Plus, don't miss the Topgolf Swing Suite, a virtual reality experience with a variety of fun interactive games every sports fan will love.
Visit the Moneyline Bar, Book, and Grill at Gold Strike Casino Resort for Monday Night Football happy hour specials. Or anytime you want a piece of the best sports action in Mississippi.
Need Christmas gifts for friends, family, even yourself? Now's the time to buy at Family Leisure. Buy one item for someone special, you get the second for yourself at half off. Pool tables as low as $14.99. Hot tubs as low as $1,400. Arcades as low as $9.99. Massage chairs, you can get one as low as $6.99. There's so much to choose from now through Christmas Eve. Get your Christmas shopping done at Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family fun and the holidays all come together.
You know, it's better to give than receive, right? When you donate a gift at All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch, you can receive a free lunch this Friday beginning at 11 a.m. Just bring a toy to All-Star Chevy for the kids at Winchester Elementary this Friday beginning at 11 a.m. There are also free prizes, and Greg and Eli from Sports 56 will be broadcasting live from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. While you're there, check out the new Silverado Traverses and the all-new Chevy Blazer. And if you buy one, you could save thousands paying what the employees pay. So come on out this Friday for free lunch and prizes, and bring a toy to donate to Winchester Elementary from All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and Sports 56.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by 34 North Cocktails. Pop a top on a barrel thief or sneaky pucker from 34 North Cocktails today. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
A couple of text messages here. One, somebody asked when we're going to have Ryan Silverfield on. Really anxious to hear from him. He's going to be on with Wolo and Stats tomorrow.
Tomorrow he's scheduled to go on with them, and we're hoping to get him later in the week. But the deal is right now he's recruiting his tail off, so he's been out of town doing recruiting. So we will try to get him for our show, but Wolo and Stats will have him, I believe, tomorrow.
All of these coaches with this early signing period are out recruiting right now. Like that's pretty much they're all on the road, and then they'll come back and start bowl practices and all that good stuff.
Right.
Somebody says there's something amiss in the way John Daly sounds on the radio and how I perceive him. It's different. I've never met him.
In what way? That's interesting. I'm curious what way. Does he just sounds more?
John's just a straight shooter. He doesn't really care what he says. Like doesn't care if he offends people. Like John's very comfortable in his own skin, and he's just going to tell you what he thinks.
But I would bet dollars to donuts that Texter thinks that like John was going to come on. He's going to be really, really loud, and he's not. But he was when he wants to make a point, he'll make a point. He's great. He's been a friend of ours for years. I've known John. I've done things with my old Sports Files TV show and interviews I've done, and he's been on the radio show a number of times throughout the years.
Somebody else says, as a fan of John's clothes, asked him for a jacket. His family was appearing on Family Feud. They sent the whole family clothes. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, I should have asked John, not on the air, but we got the Toys for Tots Radiothon, and we're going to have auction items, and we raised a lot of money from that. If he would be able to send us some loudmouth apparel. I'm sure there are a lot of fans of JD here in Memphis. By what we've seen in the past, probably a lot more than I think, that would follow John around at the old FedEx St. Jude Classic in loudmouth apparel. So that would probably go for some pretty good money.
A couple other things on the Tigers. We had Steve Macy on earlier. Somebody texted and says, the school won't be hurting for money for the trip to this bowl game. That's a ridiculous statement. They're going to make millions on TV and bowl game money. No, these bowl games are not big money makers. Generally, these schools lose money on bowl games. The conference gets I think it's $17 million, I think it is, for the Cotton Bowl. Mm-hmm. That goes to the conference, and then it's divvied up amongst all the teams. Memphis will get a bigger share as the team who is in the game. But if you think they're making a bunch of money off this bowl game, no, they're not.
No, they're not. They're not at all.
Especially if all of a sudden you have 5,000 of your ticket allotment that go unsold, and you're losing $1 million or whatever out of that. Like, no, and I don't know who they're all bragging. Like, when they went to the Miami Beach Bowl, they lost their rear ends because they brought everybody in the world to that game. They lost their rear ends with the Miami Beach Bowl. This money is more, but if you think these bowl games are huge money makers, they're not. They're usually money losers.
Right. The money's going to be a lot more, obviously, than the Beach Bowl. So there's going to be a big difference in what they're bringing in. So I believe that everybody will go. I haven't heard that, but I think as big as this bowl is, the Cotton Bowl, for goodness sakes, the band will be there. Everybody's going to be there. So it will be very costly. I mean, you have to put the people up for a week, and there's a lot of events that are happening right down there, and you got to make sure they're fed. And there's a lot of expenses that goes with playing in a bowl game.
But the University of Memphis doesn't get a $17 million check because they're playing in the Cotton Bowl. They, again, have to sell tickets for part of their payout, and all of the bowl money goes to the conference and then is divvied up amongst teams there. And when you're in a conference like this, they need all of the money they can possibly get. That's why they want to sell all these tickets. They need every last dollar they can get because they don't have the $40 million TV money check coming in every single year.
What did we just say about the money that Memphis will get? Did we say a number? I
don't know what the number is. I don't know what the percentage is.
I just got texted and somebody said 5.2.
Yeah, I don't know how the conference divvies it up, and with the team that actually plays in the bowl game, how much more they get. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're not going to lose money on this bowl game. They're not going to lose money.
But they're not making a bunch.
But they're trying. Well, there's a lot of expenditures. Now, 5.2, what is it that they've gotten before? 800,000, 750,000, and all that. So I got to confirm this, but they will have to pay. I mean, they won't have to pay, but they will get less for every ticket that's not sold. And again, if you only sell 7,000 through the university, they're on the hook for another 5,500 tickets.
That's over $1 million.
Right.
That they would have lost right there.
Right. And I don't know if everybody understands that. And it adds up very quickly, that many tickets. So you're on the hook for $12,500. And if people are buying them from, and I can't tell people what to do with their money. Yeah, you got to spend more to buy the ticket from Memphis, but it helps out the university. If you are an alum and you care about the university, then you would buy from them. But again, it's going to be a little bit more expensive.
Then somebody else says, you guys, the media, are part of the problem. You're too quick to brush off the concept of P6. The American has captured 3 of 4 New Year's Six Bowls since the college football playoff began, has 2 teams that were once recognized as power teams capable of winning a national championship. And so why not anymore? Come on, man, stop perpetuating the P5 concept as just the way it is. Whatever happened to the Super 16 conference idea? That comes from Wayne. What? I don't even, the media has nothing to do with this. Unless you want to talk about TV networks and the contracts they give the conferences. You don't just get to call yourself a power conference. These power conferences are power conferences based on contracts and money and things like that. You don't just get to say, hey, all of a sudden we're P6. That doesn't mean anything. There's nothing to it. The power is based on money, bowl contracts, television contracts. It has nothing to do. They didn't just say it one day. It's based on what they are.
Look, I appreciate the commissioner. He's been on the show many times, and what he's trying to do. He's trying to flip the narrative. I love what he's doing, what Mike's doing. But you're right. You can't just say you're something. Now, is Memphis the best right now? Not Memphis, but the American, the best of everything that's not under the, I'm using the air quotes here if you're not watching me on Facebook or any of the other ways to watch us. Are they a Power 5 or are they a Group of 5, right? So they're in the Group of 5 category. But Memphis is at the top of that list. They're up there with Boise State, and there's no question that there is a difference between the MAC schools and Conference USA and the Sun Belt and what the American has become. But to just say that they're equal now to the SEC and the Pac-12 and the Big Ten is ludicrous because they are not. Just look at the financial breakdown. So saying it and actually having it in reality are two different things. We'd love it to happen. And Mike's narrative, it's right now it's falling on deaf ears, but who knows, maybe one day something will change. But that's your point, that the landscape has to change because right now there is a difference.
If you want to become a power conference, go get a contract with the Cotton Bowl, that your champion's going to go to the Cotton Bowl every year.
Right.
That's what they're not power conferences because they got voted on by some it's because of what they are. They have the huge television contracts. They've got bowl contracts. Their champion goes to these elite bowl games every single year. You don't just get to say, you know what? Like, they couldn't even just say, you know what? Welcome in. You're now P6. That means absolutely nothing. You have to get these. So get a deal with one of these big bowl games. The Cotton Bowl doesn't have tie-ins on either side. Get the Cotton Bowl to say, you know what? Your champion's coming to our game every year. Right. If you can convince the Cotton Bowl to do that, then you can become a power conference.
Let me go to our phone calls here, and then we'll dive into the NFL. George is first. Hi, George.
Hey, guys. Sorry. You were just talking about the university losing money for every ticket not sold. And I went ahead and bought off Vivid this year. I went to the Birmingham Bowl and the Liberty Bowl going through the university.
Mm-hmm.
And after the last time, I said never again. Because, for instance, in the Liberty, we're season ticket holders in the chairbacks. We've been season ticket holders for 15 years. You pay your money to the university, and then they tell you where your seats are. We ended up 10 rows from the very top on the visitor side. So what the whole deal is that the bowl sells all the good seats online, and then they give all the crappy seats that are in the corners to the teams. And they've got to fix the system. It's horrible.
Macy was on with us. Didn't he say it was from basically the goal line to the 30, but lower bowl?
The part
just pull up the map and look at it. It's ridiculous.
Oh, okay.
Listen, and again, that's on the bowl. That is the way because the bowls trying to make money themselves. And as Steve said, part of the problem, and you're buying it off of a secondary market. A lot of these corporate people, as he's talking about, these corporate packages get sold. Guys get tickets to the game that don't care one bit about going to the Cotton Bowl. They don't care about Memphis. They don't care about Penn State.
Right.
So they put their tickets out there in the secondary market because they were free to them. They don't care what they sell them for. They just want to get rid of them and make a little money off of it. And now that is way cheaper than the university or the bowl game is selling tickets. And those corporate tickets are probably going to be pretty good seats because they're going to corporate sponsors who spend a lot of money with the bowl game.
Yeah, but when you really look at it from from the perspective of the whole, what does it matter? There's going to be X number of people that attend this bowl. Who cares whether you bought it through the university or through the Cotton Bowl?
Yeah,
the university cares.
What I'm saying is, what does it matter to the Cotton Bowl? They sold X number of seats.
Nothing.
It only matters to the universities,
right?
It's because it's part of their payout. It doesn't. The Cotton Bowl doesn't care. Nobody cares other than a university if they don't sell their full allotment of tickets.
So why should it affect the payout? That's my point.
It is part of their payout.
Why should it affect their payout?
Okay, here's the deal. With the basically when you're invited to this bowl game, in this particular case, the Cotton Bowl, each school is allotted 12,500 tickets that must be sold. For each ticket that's not sold, the amount of that ticket comes off of what your payout is from the bowl. So
I understand that.
Okay, so you're losing. So what the general payout would be if you sold 12.5 through your university, you would get the full allotment.
I understand all that. That's not my point. My point is, it doesn't matter whether I buy my seats through Vivid or through the university. I'm still going to the game. The Cotton Bowl still receives the $330 per seat for my ticket.
Right.
Yes. So in the end, there's X number of people that's going to go to this bowl, and it doesn't matter where you got your seats from. For the Cotton Bowl to say, well, you're not going to get X number of dollars because people didn't buy them through you. It doesn't matter.
No, it does. It does.
It matters.
Yes,
it matters to them
because it's like basically consider. The tickets are part of like a trade deal. It's not like they're saying, okay, here is your money that we're giving you, but part of that money is these tickets. You get to keep the money you sell these tickets for. If you sell one ticket, you get $330. You sell 12,500 tickets, you got $1.5 million or whatever it is. That's it. So we're giving you these tickets to sell and keep the money. So at the school, however many of those they get that money. If they don't sell any of them, then the school
understands that.
That.
He understands that, but what he's saying is from the Cotton Bowl's point of view, if he's buying a ticket, right, and let's say they got 12,500 people that bought tickets from something other than the university, they still have those people representing Memphis in the stadium. But here's the thing. When you buy them from all these other outlets, it doesn't click. Oh, it's a Memphis fan, so we're going to put you down as – okay.
I don't understand what your question is, because the university cares, because the university loses money if they don't sell 12,500 tickets.
Okay, but your point is the university cares because this is the system that they put in place, and my point is the system is stupid.
Yes, we're all in agreement with that.
The whole college football system is stupid. Like, we all know that.
I appreciate the call, George. We're going to run to Thomas now. But, yeah, I think we're all in agreement as far as that. We took 5 minutes to get to that point. Thomas, how are you?
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Good.
I'm trying to make a decision. I'm looking at both Vivid and the Tigers website at the same time. I can get 2 tickets for me and my daughter for $200 from the University of Memphis, but I can get 2 tickets through Vivid for $64. Mm-hmm. I can understand the university's concern because, you guys, I'm a big supporter of my alma mater. And I'm thinking about going ahead and bite the bullet and buy those $200 tickets and head on down on the 27th. I'm very much thinking about doing that. But that Vivid deal looks very inviting, Eli.
Again, as I said yesterday, you have to think about this basically as I'm going to bite the bullet to support my university. It's just like making a donation to buy your season tickets or whatever. You have to think of it as I'm going to spend the more money because it helps out my university. And if you're just looking for the cheapest tickets, no, you're not going to buy them through the university. You have to look at it as I want to support the university, so I'm gonna pay the extra money to buy those tickets. And I'm not telling you that's the way you have to do it that way. Everybody gets to make their own choice. But if to justify it, I guess in your mind, you're going to have to think like, this way I'm helping out the university while buying tickets.
Thank you, Thomas.
Go ahead, Greg.
No, I was just going to go ahead and finish your statement. I was going to let you go.
I'm thinking I'm leaning more toward going ahead and buy the tickets from the university. But that, like I just said, that's $64 for 2 tickets. That's very inviting.
Thank you, Thomas. Let me tell you this. In my opinion, if I could buy 2 tickets for $64 and they were good seats, or 2 tickets for $200 and I don't know where I'm sitting, I'm buying the cheaper tickets. I mean, I'm not stupid. I mean, if there's a $136 difference between the 2 tickets, as much as I want to support my alma mater, Maryland, I would look to buy the cheaper ticket. But what Steve was saying, you got to be careful. Also, there, especially in that Dallas area, they got a lot of fake tickets going out there, and you can get burned on that. But if you're strictly a Memphis alum and you want to help out, Eli's absolutely right. You got to bite the bullet and buy a more expensive ticket, because in the end, Memphis will not be getting the money that is allotted to them by the bowl in full, because they will lose whatever tickets they don't sell.
Folks, you need tough, reliable tractors to tackle your tough chores. Well, you know where to go. That's Mid-South Ag Equipment with the Case IH Farm All Series of tractors. Actually drove by Mid-South Ag just the other day. As a matter of fact, they've got, if you drive by there, the place is huge. Equipment just everywhere. New equipment, used equipment. They can service current equipment. And they've got everything you need to get the best name out there with the Case IH Farm All Series of tractors, bush hog cutters, bush hog zero-turn lawnmowers as well. They've got them for you at Mid-South Ag Equipment. They're just south of Collierville. It's on Goodman Road, just a half mile off of I-269. It's a half mile west of the Goodman Road exit off I-269. Very, very easy to get to, easy to find, the folks at Mid-South Ag Equipment. They are the experts in the industry. They've been doing it for a long time, and they've got the best names in the industry as well. So for all your equipment needs, go see them at Mid-South Ag Equipment.
All right, we'll take a break. Come back with our final segment. Try to squeeze in a little NFL. We had some good callers right there, so we certainly wanted to tackle the ticket story. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
Did you learn your ABCs when you were a kid? Well, as a grown-up, it's time to learn your CBDs, as in CBD edibles, oil tincture, pain cream, and beauty products. All found at your CBD store, with 3 locations: Poplar Avenue, North Germantown Parkway, and Goodman Road East. You'll find all natural, organic, and non-GMO products. Need to learn more? Your CBD store has a knowledgeable and friendly staff that can answer questions, help with choices, and put you at ease about your CBDs. Your CBD store, with 3 locations: Poplar Avenue, Cordova, and South Haven. Your CBD store, making it as easy for you as ABC CBD.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department. Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant. So what comes in a rib box? We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion. Where do we order these great ribs? You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
I love fall. The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. Gourmet Chef Drew invites you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by 34 North Cocktails. Pop a top on a barrel thief or sneaky pucker from 34 North Cocktails today. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
This hour is indeed brought to you by 34 North Cocktails. Barrel Thief, which is a bourbon drink. They got Sneaky Pucker, the premium vodka cocktail, available at liquor stores around Memphis. Very convenient, already pre-mixed, ready to go out of the 12-ounce can. They are delicious. And again, they're available for you here in Memphis. Great for any holiday parties or things that you've got going on during the holiday season. Give them a try. 34 North Cocktails, the Barrel Thief, and Sneaky Pucker, available at liquor stores here in Memphis.
A couple of notes from the NFL. Drew Lock, 22 of 27, 309 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick, and he did up most of that damage in the first half. They ran the ball in the second half in an easy win at Houston. You think they found their quarterback, or is it just too early to tell? A couple of weeks, Drew Lock looks like he's locked and loaded, no pun intended.
Again, Kyle Allen was 5-0 as a starter, and everybody loved Kyle Allen.
Small hands. Don't trust him in the long run.
San Francisco, New Orleans with 94 total points. Drew Brees, 5 touchdown passes in the loss. Jimmy Garoppolo, are you sold on him? 4 touchdown passes for the Niners quarterback.
He continues to look really, really good. I think we've seen enough now out of Jimmy Garoppolo that you have to be a believer.
Ravens clinched the playoff spot with their 24-17 win over Buffalo. Lamar Jackson with 3 touchdown passes. Like the same situation in college where Joe Burrow just seemed to take over and then run away. He'll win the Heisman this weekend. It's this weekend, right? The Heisman Saturday?
Yes.
Do you think Lamar Jackson has pretty much sewn up MVP?
It'd be hard for him to lose it, I think.
I think it would be too. And the Titans, we talked about this yesterday, a 42-21 win over Oakland. They've now won 4 straight. Ryan Tannehill is now 6-1 since taking over for Marcus Mariota. 391 yards and 3 touchdowns. Did everybody just miss on him, or did you give the Titans a lot of credit for signing him in the offseason originally as a backup to Mariota?
It was a smart move for them to get him. I think they screwed up coming out of preseason. He should have been their starter.
Should have been the starter.
He was way better in the preseason. They should have just went with him off the out of the gate, but they finally realized the error in their ways, and he's performing with them.
And again, the Giants say they're looking at Daniel Jones' health, and if he's ready to go, he'll be back in the lineup this weekend for the G-Men, and that could possibly be the swan song last night for Eli Manning. 15 of 20, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns. Giants were in control of that game. Eagles came back and won it in overtime, 23-17.
Time out for one final thing.
Before Greg and Eli get out of here for the day, they each have one final thing they think you should know to make it through the rest of your day. So here are Greg and Eli with one final thing.
Some big changes happening to the Scripps National Spelling Bee. They're going to have fewer participants next year, but will that mean fewer champions? 6 months after the bee ended in an unprecedented 8-way tie because organizers ran out of words, for goodness sakes. Scripps on Tuesday announced the first in a series of reforms to the competition. While bee organizers aren't saying how they'll come up with a more challenging word list, the bee is reducing the number of wildcard entrants, which ought to streamline an event that was becoming unwieldy. The bee will have roughly 140 wildcard entrants, down from 300 this year. That means the competition would top out at about 400 spellers. This year, there were 562 kids in the bee, which is open to students through the 8th grade. Just don't have 8 champions.
You said they ran out of words.
They ran out of words that
There's a lot of words.
2 words. 2 simple words. Bigger dictionary.
Yeah. They ran out of words that were competitive for these people.
They were using the pocket
kids.
dictionary.
Yeah.
They didn't have the full.
I was going to say, open up the Merriam-Webster's dictionary and just go to the hard words in there.
Hey, go to the
anything
easy,
past 8 letters.
Dude,
just put it in there.
Go to the easy words and they might screw that up. But you can't have 8 champions, for goodness sakes.
Why not? More winners. Who cares? The spelling.
Millennials.
Who cares?
The wussification of America.
This is a very nice story. We hear a lot of negative about the professional athletes out there. Why not something positive? Khalil Mack of the Chicago Bears went back to his hometown, or giving back to his hometown of Fort Pierce, Florida. He has paid off all active holiday layaway accounts at the Walmart in Fort Pierce, Florida.
Wow.
Didn't tell anybody, just went in there, made the payment through his Khalil Mack Foundation. Around $80,000 paid off everybody's active layaway accounts.
How great
at
was
the
that?
Walmart in Fort Pierce.
How great
Good
is
for
that?
Khalil Mack. That's awesome. Santa Mac.
Ending it on a positive note, our Tuesday edition.
It's really unfortunate if you're like a person who was like, you were going to go like this weekend and put something on layaway. And like, nah, I'll just do that next week. And then, I could have had it paid off.
Oh, there'll be negativity somehow. Couldn't he have waited? Big thanks to Chris Vanini, Long John Daly, Steve Macy, and Don Wade for joining us on the program today. Tomorrow, Jerry Palm, Tony Madlock, Tigers assistant basketball coach on the Memphis-Tennessee game this Saturday. Sigmund Bloom will answer all your fantasy football questions. And, of course, dinner and a movie coming up as well tomorrow. Stay tuned. Johnny Radio's Happy Hour is coming up next. For Gabe Kuhn and Eli Savoie, I'm Greg Gaston. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, everybody.
Tell you what, if you ask old Will to say, here's the deal, friends, it's all going to pot.
For over 25 years, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 has been bringing you great local sports talk. With 13 hours of local talk daily, we continue to be Memphis's local sports leader. The day starts with Keith Parker and Elliot Wender on the press box from 6 to 7, followed by the Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt from 7 to 10. Sports 56 Middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie takes you through lunch from 10 until 1. And then, John Harden brings you Johnny Radio's Happy Hour from 1 to 3. Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy drive you home every afternoon with Sports Time with Wolo and Stats from 3 till 6. And John Rennie wraps up the day with Southern Sports Report from 6 to 7 before we turn things over to Fox Sports Radio to get you through the evening. We also bring you Ole Miss sports, NFL football, and the NCAA basketball tournament. Don't miss anything. Keep your radio locked in right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
The Christmas cheer is in the air. Santa Claus is still alive and well. Gateway Tires is teaming up with Toys for Tots. We want to see some smiling, joyful faces on all the children this Christmas season. So talk it up, Toys for Tots, and spread the word and make a difference this year. Give one